I was on the bike, and I was hoping that was going to happen just because, rhyme and everything. So
yeah, baby, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's tell Erin
cool.
if you wouldn't mind on the messenger, just tell her to give us a call, and
Will do.
we can start off. We can get her going here.
She's a first-time caller. I'm not sure what's going on here. Just makes me want to leave a voicemail.
Hey,
all right, call us, Erin.
Call us. We're now live. Let's see here. We'll get her going. Oh man, I got cables crossing cables and stuff over here. It's
never cross the streams, man. That's Ghostbusters.
It's wild. So
cross the streams, Ray.
So what's funny is I have a whole pre-show that we've done with the voicemails. I even have one extra voicemail there that I've got to kind of,
Oh my gosh, we got to fit in.
Figure out. Okay, here we go. Let me let me go ahead and answer this.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello and welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. This is Erin.
This is her. Hello.
Hey, Erin. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're doing great. Thank you for busting down the gate and getting through. Sorry about the
first caller.
Having your call blocked there. We were trying to finish up some voicemails, but we are ready to hear all about what you think about Rings of Power. We're very excited.
Yeah, Rings of Power. Let's see. I also have questions for you guys, but if you're asking straight at the gate, kind of what I'm thinking about the show, I think my overwhelming feeling is I want it to do well because I want more Tolkien content.
Yeah.
But I think that's the big feeling. Not that I'm super in love with it. I really love Tolkien does such an excellent job of, like the Shire, Middle Earth are a character in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And Rings of Power is just kind of two faces having a discussion. And I'm not falling in love with the Second Age as a character, like the environment and the places. And so that's kind of been a disappointment for me. But
okay, so Erin, people have said that just to kind of see if you're feeling this way too. What we've heard from a lot of people, especially just in the voicemail we just listened to, we heard it like 4 or 5 times. Like there's no soul, there's no maybe better. There's no soul connection. Would you echo that sentiment as well?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I just especially with the first season, we were taking these ship journeys across, and you're like, but where was all the journeying? And I just really love the journey. And the first 2 major stories, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and that's just been missing for me. And it's that's just something I really missed.
Yeah, the quest, right? That we don't really feel. There's no real direction. We don't. All the good guys can't even agree on whether Sauron's around and still bad. All the bad guys can't even agree if Sauron's bad. We don't. It's almost so you're talking about how there's no connection, and I found the same thing. I'm I'm finding myself rooting for Sauron, and I'm like, what is happening to me? What is going on?
I don't know if I go that far, but
I am.
Totally,
I want him to just. Yeah, I want him to lay waste to all these fake characters. I really do. It's bad. I'm there. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love the soundtrack. I think they did a really excellent job with the music.
Right. Yep.
So I've enjoyed that piece. But at this point, it really is I'm still watching it because I want, one more counter towards more Tolkien content somewhere. Maybe not from Amazon. It was super funny because you guys were talking about I listened to the podcast earlier today from the last time you guys had it on, and I fell asleep watching it last night. And I woke up, and I was back at the beginning. And I was like, they really are doing that. It totally is legit.
It's legit.
Gosh, dude.
It's legit. But hey, Erin, if that's their way, to get those views and get us more Tolkien and get us another, I mean, I'm kind of with you. I'm along for the crazy ride. Let's do some Tolkien, whatever it is.
Okay, so Erin, can I ask you a question about some of the? So you're talking about kind of how this has almost spawned like a rebuttal from Warner Brothers, right? We've got The Hunt for Gollum. We've got Andy Serkis. He's contacting. Ian McKellen has officially been contacted and said there's no script, but they've essentially offered him a role. Orlando Bloom has been contacted by Andy Serkis. Orlando Bloom's like, I'm down, but like, how are we going to do this? Andy Serkis said, well, AI, of course, which is a little, I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, hey, trust the magicians. And then we've also got World of Rohirrim coming out, the anime style, something we've never seen before, coming out this Christmas. So do you feel like some of that stuff is you're almost more excited for the response to Rings of Power? Is that fair to say? Are you looking forward to those projects? Are you not? Are you dreading them? Like, how are you feeling about that kind of
stuff? I'm looking forward to just more Tolkien, and I don't feel like this is Tolkien in particular. I did get that book, the one with his letters in it, and I'm kind of like, you know, I read a lot about his Catholic background, and I was like, a lot of this wouldn't really fit with him specifically. So, but I mean, it's entertaining enough-ish. I feel like super compelling about it, but like, I'm here for the brand, if that's a thing, right? So
yeah, no, for sure.
You know, of course, I was born way after the author was deceased. So had it not been for Peter Jackson, never in this lifetime would I have discovered something that has been so enjoyable for me personally. So I appreciate that for bringing me in. And I know you guys have talked about a little bit, like, if Rings of Power draws in that curiosity and somebody picks up the book, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a win. So are you having, yes, agreed. And so something that, like, my favorite part about, I think will continue to be, because they're going to make all 5 seasons, we've heard, no matter what, even if no one's watching, or it's just stuck on repeat from someone falling asleep that whole time. That's how they get the like, my favorite part is like the Hobbit hotline. It's talking to other people. It's hearing what people have to say, even if I agree with it, if I don't agree with it, whatever it is. Even if I'm not enjoying it, I like hearing how other people are. Are those conversations you're having? Is that something you're tuned into? Like, is that something that you enjoy about the experience of Rings of Power?
Yeah, totally. Like, I'm probably a little more vague on some of the lore. Like, I did do a little bit of pre-reading before the first season, and then I ended up being more disappointed. So I kind of quit investigating, because I was like, I'm just going to be like, where's Galadriel's husband? I know she has one. So I'm taking a temporary pause on some of that. But I was also really curious, because you guys are working on this, the Red Book of West March, like, as creators and adapters of Tolkien's work, because I know you mentioned you are making some small tweaks and things here and there, or like filling in holes. Like, how do you think that influences your perception of how well or poorly they're doing?
Wow,
as adapters?
Great question, Lane.
That is a great question.
What do you think about
it? I'll start off with a little promo too, because Aaron was the first person who came out of. I had this plan. I had this plan to do a slow, like, rollout of open auditions, and now it's going to be out there for whoever listens to this episode. But I was going to wait for episode 1 to be done, and then I knew that I would have, like, too many roles for us to fill. Like, I knew that we were going to be, like, undercast essentially, and I was like, man, it would just be so cool to continue to cast people who have been a part of this community around the podcast, and more so around Tolkien, but just people that we know, because it'll really feel like a fan group project. More than like, getting like or like trying to find like voice actors or whatever, because I think there's so much hidden talent in just everyday ordinary people. I really do. And so Erin shot an email. She said, I don't know what you guys are working on, because this is before we even announced. I think it's before we announced the radio drama. I think it was
correct.
Aaron, it was way back in early May, I believe.
Yeah, it was before then. Yeah.
Yeah. So the official announcement that it was a radio drama was like the 23rd or 24th or something of May, and so Aaron contacted even before that. Said, I don't know what you guys are doing with these scripts you keep posting, or what's going on, but I would love to be a part of it if that's if you guys are open to it. I said, well, Aaron, you kind of beat me to the punch. I said, go ahead and I can't remember if I even told you what we're doing, but I said if you just could send me a recording, like audition with some accents, if you can do any accents. And I kept it very vague. She sent over I think these were written by you, weren't they? Because I almost thought like, wait, did the script leak somehow? But she literally read as it was crazy. She read as Eleanor, and she did like her American accent, and then she put on this incredible Irish accent, and I was like, wow, okay. So I think I responded. I just said, Aaron, I don't know, like, because I'm very thoughtful with roles. Like, I want to make sure that it took me like, oh my gosh, it took me like maybe 3 months to finally find a role for Stephen Matthew. I'm still working on Aaron's because I don't want it to be, because I've heard her accent and I've heard her performance. I don't want it to be too short. I want it to be something that, as long as she wants a larger part, that she'll enjoy. I want it to be right. You know what I'm saying? So I want every part to be right.
Yeah.
But so anyway, long story to say, she was the first person to audition. She's going to be in the radio drama as well, and I'm so happy and excited that she's going to be a part of it. So thank you. So I will say this, and maybe it's because it's Hobbits and it's not as, quote unquote grand. Even I think that their stories have the most potential and are the most they have the most human connection despite them not being humans. I mean, technically, I just heard Tolkien talk about this in an interview the other day. He was like, even though there are different races of beings that inhabit Middle Earth, they are all, in fact, like different facets of humanity. Like elves are like the wisdom and the spiritual connection. Men are mortality and some of the darker aspects of mankind. The hobbits are like idyllic, like utopian home type feelings, youth, things like that, innocence. Dwarves are kind of like our industrial capabilities and sometimes our greed and things like that, our fierceness, our toughness. But anyway, so yeah, with concerning hobbits, I literally this whole time I thought to myself, man, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm really into it and I'm kind of going crazy with it, but to me, and Mike Charles, if it wasn't for him, I'd still be stuck on episode 2. What he did with episode 2 and 3 is unbelievable, and I'd still be thinking about someone else doing something with it someday if it wasn't for Ez. And I would never have written anything if it wasn't for Sarah, right? So all these people have spurned along the way, but once those people say, go do this, like don't, as Ez said, don't stem it, go after it. As Sarah said, you're not crazy. As Mike said, let's do this, let's write something wild. Like I have found it wrote itself. Like I found myself thinking this whole time, I'm like, this is not easy, but it's so chock full of inspiration. Even the stories that were kind of more vague, like we didn't know much about Belladonna and Bungo's love story. Like there's not tons there. We had these, like, okay, to use their terms, there's pillars that you can build around, and you've got like personality traits of Tukes and Bagginses and the different families, and we know a little bit about the old Tuke, and we know a little bit about Bungo, how he was like that Bilbo was the sturdy second edition of his father kind of deal, so you can kind of build some stuff off that. But everything else, if you let those things inform kind of like your vision and you use them as inspiration, I found it like not only easier than I thought it would be, but way more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And like, I can't tell you how rewarding it is to just sit there and think, okay, no limitations other than what Tolkien has put in front of me. And those don't feel like limitations. They feel like just absolute complete inspiration. And then you just kind of play make-believe and you think, okay, we know we have these pillars. How do we go from this one to this one? Okay, what can happen in between? What else was happening at this time? Can we go look over here and reference something? Can we actually go there? Can we? Yeah, to me, I'm like, I look at how Tolkien Untangled did a treatment for 5 seasons in the Second Age, and then I look at what the show did. And so, like you, Aaron, like you started reading the lore, and you're like, oh, this kind of ruined the show for me. When I started watching Tolkien Untangled's pitch for a second season show, that's when it really, like, I had kind of like weird feelings around episode 3 and 4 in season 1, and then I stumbled upon those videos and started watching them, and I was like, oh, this is gonna destroy. I think I even said to Ez, I was like, be careful. I was like, be careful watching these videos.
Be careful watching. Yeah,
it's gonna ruin it. It'll ruin it for you because it was just so much more in line with Tolkien. It was even, I felt like sort of jigsawed into like what Peter Jackson's vision was. So there was kind of a through line there. But yeah, all that to say, too many words to say. I would think with a team that big, with the resources they have, they made it harder than it had to be. I would say, I really do. I really think that. I think they made it, way harder than it needs to be, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, they have some really great fillers. If they just kind of hung on, you know.
Right. They didn't even use them. They just knocked them down. It was like, forget this one.
Hey.
That one we don't need.
Right.
Sorry.
I hate
so much
to
writing about him.
I hate to do this.
Good.
I hate to do this to Erin, but I just want her to know that she just got a famous Stanley "Keep It All Positive, Please." All right. So this happens.
Stanley.
This happens on the. I love.
Stanley.
I turn the live on. Erin's our first caller, and from jump, Stanley hits us with a "Keep It Positive," and I just wanted Erin to know she's in on this now, and this is a thing. So I would like us to take two, redo all of that.
Is Stanley a burner account for Payne and McKay?
I love this.
Like
I don't
even
if it is. This is awesome, actually. So I tell you, the comments over on YouTube are they're nuts. It's so fun. But
they're
Erin,
worth a rewatch.
Yeah. So no, Erin, I appreciate. I think that's I wanted to hear how Lane would answer that question, because it is like, I think Lane, I wonder why he hasn't condensed the timeline for Concerning Hobbits. I keep waiting for him to come and do that, and he's not. He's jumping around, doing memory stuff, making it feel like legit. And it's just it's interesting, because I think he is actually adapting, those works. And like, when you hear Lane talk about this stuff, there is actually Tolkien, has laid this out. And I'm amazed at how much, when Lane will do probably more of these behind the scenes podcasts where he talks about the lore and the research that he's done. I'm like, wait, I've asked him off the podcast, like, Tolkien said that? That's somewhere? He's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, dang. So it's all about hobbits? Like, what? So that's kind of wild. And I think to watch a show where you've got the Harfoots and it feels a little off, and then to have a friend like Lane who's just knocking it out of the park with everybody wanting to work on it and stuff, it feels unique, and it's really an interesting spot to kind of be in, I think, as a group. So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Erin, any other I'm just looking up here, any other thoughts you got just in concerning have you read the Silmarillion by chance?
Well, I started when we started, and then I pittered out when we pittered out.
All right.
So
all right.
Whenever we're ready to get back to that, I'll be there for it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's actually what I wanted to hear. To me, in a weird way, I was hoping she would say something like that, like, hey, it sounds like you're tooting. You're all like, all right, let's get back to it, because you almost wonder, are people even, like, you're doing the Silmarillion and you feel just kind of like all over the place, and then obviously life stuff or whatever. But I was like, man, I don't really want to do this unless somebody actually is down to like dive back into it or whatever. And now having two seasons of like the show, I was saying to Lane, I was just joking. I was like, yeah, I'm more motivated now than ever to go in there and, arm ourselves with the lore a little bit, So anyway.
I'm on my second reread with you guys. I'm ready for something. No.
Okay, no, Sarah, I believe you there.
Dang.
Hey, keep it positive, okay? Keep it positive, Stanley.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Yeah, sorry. You guys are doing the best that you can, and I appreciate that.
I think we need to get in that, as you saw that shop open, we need to get Stanley thermoses that just say "Keep it positive."
Oh, we got to. Yeah, we definitely have the shop. The merch.
I think the kids would like that.
We need a T-shirt too that just says, "Keep it positive." The phrase was updated today. It says, "Keep it all positive, please." Emphasis on the all.
Okay.
So I love it.
Dang, Stanley. All right, baby.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah.
We got you.
Love it. So, well, Erin, thanks so much. I think we got a couple other folks who buzzed in here, and I want them to, if you're listening out there, feel free to call back in here in just a second. But Erin, thanks so much. This has been awesome. So good to hear your voice, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been great to call in and get to chat with you guys finally. So you guys have a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin.
You too. Thanks a lot, man.
Bye.
Yep, you're going to be hearing Erin in Concerning Hobbits. I'm very excited. Like I said, I don't know what part yet. It might be a part that hasn't been written yet, or maybe I don't know yet. But her Irish accent is incredible, man. It's incredible. So again, just the talent that you find in people who, just because something's not your profession doesn't mean you have a gift for something, and I love it. I think it's probably the most hobbity way to do it. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I love it.
Steven calls you Lane the Lore Master, which I love. So,
oh my God, can you imagine how many people would cringe when he said that?
What are you talking about?
People who've listened for a long time.
Oh no, people who've listened for a long time know that you're a jokester, and that like people have figured it out. Like maybe the first couple episodes, they're wondering, is this guy even read? What's this guy doing? We'll see. Is this a joke podcast? What's he doing?
Way too nice. I am far from a lore master, but I've just really gotten into I've gotten obsessed with the Hobbits. They've drawn me in, and there is so much. There's honestly, the crazy thing is, of the two of us as the lore master, he's the wizard. He's the one down in the Minas Tirith archives, paging through,
about that, dude.
sifting for knowledge. Yes, you are. When Ez wants to research something, look out, baby. When Ez is on the research kick, get out of his way.
That is true.
Get on his team.
When you want, well, that's true. Especially when because like a fever took over. I mean, I've watched
you're a madman.
I've watched every YouTube video that's ever been created on anything Tolkien in the last 2 weeks, and I'm just like, Lottie's calling me. She's like, what's that in the background? I'm like, I'm absorbing. I'm just absorbing, more stuff because I'm ticked. I'm angry. I'm like, it's the rise of Ez. It's the rise of the Balrog. It's like I'm coming. I'm coming for this show, and people are like, oh my God. No, but let's see.
Dude.
So actually, I think go ahead.
You got another call?
No.
I was gonna say that
no, you go. No. No, wait. No, go ahead.
Talk first. Me or you?
You. Hey. Wait.
There's so much. There is so much like lore concerning hobbits. No pun intended. So it's like it's really, and I think that he does that with every people group, even with specific characters. That if you go digging in all his like ancillary like texts and stuff, you can find stuff. You can find such interesting tidbits that even if it's just like, this character possessed this item at this time, you're like, whoa, what's the story there? Like, that was the big thing with Arvedui, the last king in the north of Arnor, in the Northern Kingdom. He had with him, he had the Ring of Barahir, he had the Scepter of Anuminas, and he had the Palantiri, 2 of the Palantiri, right? These relics of the king. Oh, he also had the Elendilmir, the circlet, the crown of Elendil. And these were like the rights of the king. So he was, even though there was a king in Gondor, right? He was an heir of Isildur, an heir of Elendil, and he was kind of like cast out. There was this prophecy spoken about his life that his name literally means the last king, like the last one.
Wow.
I can't remember the exact translation, but and if he was able to overcome the darkness of this prophecy, he would be able to change his name, which sounds a lot like Aragorn, right? Becoming Elisar, right? So but then you know that Fornost falls, right? And that Arvedui, he perishes, and so you're like, whoa, what happened to those items? How did eventually they come to Aragorn? And there's a story behind it, and it's incredible. It's like, it's such a cool thing to think, okay, and then you can kind of work backwards from like his fate almost. You're like, okay, and kind of what happens to him along the way. Like, he makes a bid for the throne in Gondor. He like seeks by marriage, and by his wife's father, who was the king of Gondor, being slaughtered and all of her brothers being killed. He makes a bid for the kingship in Gondor, and he would have reunited the north and the south, and he was denied. So like, how would that kind of shape a character? Do you go from that to where he eventually has to flee Fornost after the Witch King takes it over, and then he perishes? Like, he was almost Aragorn. And so you can kind of like think to yourself, okay, how do we create someone who was almost Aragorn?
Yeah.
And like, you can use that paranoia, that like almost self-fulfilling prophecy that he had over his life, how he was haunted. And I took it as like, he's going to be haunted by every decision he makes, because the prophecy was like, the one that seems right will be wrong, and the one that seems wrong will be the right one, essentially, is how it kind of goes. And so with every every move, every decision he makes, he's thinking like, is this the one? Is this the one? And then how do I then move forward? It's almost kind of stifled by that in ways that like Aragorn didn't have to be, because there's nothing left in the north. There were some, rangers, but also to know that like Aragorn is comes to us because of this guy. So yeah, like you get stuck in there. You're just like, there's such a great character there. Arthur Dewey, who's going to be brought to life by Kurt Jones. So just wait for that, boys. Wait for boys and girls, sit down and put on your Hobbit shorts.
Yeah, talk about a voice, man. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Yeah, that was remember him leaning in on the microphone and just, it was like a freaking pro, Oh
my God, man. He's intoxicating.
Yeah. I'm pulling up here. This might be kind of risky what I'm about to do, because we had our first caller, and I know we got a special guest later tonight who might be calling in, right? A little risky, but if we don't have any callers right now, let me pull up that other voicemail that I missed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna sound weird to people on the YouTube. We insert all this stuff in post production. I'm not joking when I say I've got 4 or 5 computers open. I've got the one in front of me. I've got the laptop that's about to die. I'm trying to hit like 20% on that. Lottie one time looked underneath the table. I was like, don't. I was like, baby, don't look underneath there. It's, first of all, a couple reasons. It's smoking for a couple of reasons. And, but anyways, it's like, it's so many different cables plugged in and everything. It's just off the chain. It's not good. Guys, and earlier, people who are over here on the live, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to have to bleep it out, obviously, because we're a family-friendly podcast.
Are we playing this again?
Yes. Well, I don't know if we're going to play that. I think I'm going to leave it in where it was at, because we had some natural reaction. But we think Post Malone called in.
Post Malone.
And what else could that have been? Did somebody have are they responding? Were they just him?
We have tagged him so many times, and I think to myself, he's such an in the weeds nerd.
He's seen
that. Dude, I don't know. Maybe his people. I mean, he plays Magic the Gathering. He plays Magic the Gathering on. They're pretty big YouTube channels, so I mean, it's not like the same. It's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but I mean, let's just assume he's bored or something. He's out in Utah chilling. He needs to disconnect, and he's going through and he wants to listen to some Lord of the Rings podcast. Of all, I'm just going to say it. And people might not think this is a jewel in our crowns, but for me, it's the one front and center. Of all the Tolkien podcasts out there, which one do you think Post Malone is going to be listening to?
I mean,
it's us.
I hate to toot our own horn here, but
he ain't listening to Tolkien Professor. He's gonna be put to sleep.
Yeah,
he ain't listening to Nerd of the Rings. He's just not.
No,
just too. I don't know. There's something about him. He's not gonna trust him.
Right.
He's gonna be listening to Prancing Pony because he doesn't like being, demeaned, I guess, or whatever. Or put down. Hello, little monster. He's gonna be listening to us, guys.
Right.
He's gonna be listening to us. We broed out for Post Malone when we tried to cast him as Tom Bombadil way back in the day.
Yeah. Hey, we might have a 5-second energy. Not sure who it is, but give us a call. I mean, we got the number there. We got some people over here.
Energy.
It's a great name, dude. The YouTube's live. It's always funny to come on here. I've got different things going and see who's over here.
Can I ask a question?
We got some. Ask a question for the YouTube.
What happened to? Where's Myron? Where's Myron at?
Dude, this could be him. I don't know.
Get back, Myron. That sounds like a Myron username, doesn't it? Handle.
Yeah, it really does.
I miss him.
Yeah, you remember that first time you read that review live on the show? I was like, I didn't get it. I just was like, it's username.
Still quotes it.
To this day. It's just lore. It's just lore. Oh, another funny one here. And while we got the chat on here. So thanks, by the way, to everybody on here. We got Stanley, Steven, we got 5-second energy, we got Lakers. Who else we got on here? We got a couple other people. Steven just got to, let me see. Where is he at? He says, okay, just listen to the last debate episode. Holy wow. Beer much? Remember we had the golden perch or whatever, right?
Golden perch is Ben. Yep.
Dude, Steven, that was rated as an all-time low for an all-time high, but an all-time low for the podcast. I mean, it was like the Beer Master showed up, and I mean, we just remember how cold it was out there. We had those like
space heaters.
Wait, what was it that Nate kept saying? He kept saying the whole time.
Oh shoot!
Gosh,
allegedly or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Allegedly or something like that.
I've got to go back and listen to the episode
To completion.
To completion. Why was it funny? I don't even know what was going on, but I've never had so much golden perch in my life. That was literally
it was so
the craziest freaking episode. And we were out there in the half-built studio, freezing freaking cold, sitting around the table. I mean, it was like sub-zero out. We had mittens on.
So cold.
We couldn't,
dude.
that was pretty. Baragorn pitching a tent. He's just throwing out Steven's sister throwing out all the stuff. Holy smokes. It's I one time want to go back. I honestly want to go back and maybe whether it's after the film run or before, I want to actually challenge us like, okay, we say Monday, Lane, you or I by Friday, we have to listen to our own episode and come back and do like our own commentary and like, maybe we rate ourselves or something. Cause I feel like there's so much stuff that I don't remember that we said and that
I don't remember like 90% of it, man. Because that's the crazy thing, right? Is we don't ever go off scripts. Like we have show notes. We never. Some podcasts, believe it or not, they're scripted. Like they're fully
scripted all the way.
They're like radio dramas, but they call themselves podcasts, kind of a deal, which is fine. That's cool. But like we always wanted it to be authentic and raw. I mean, someone just called us raw dogs, right? I mean, they said that our reaction.
Oh yeah, it's just raw. Yeah, I mean, really, we just roll with it.
Yeah, and so I think that was Eric actually. He just called us OG raw dogs, and so so I don't remember like 99% of it. I mean, I remember how certain episodes felt. I can remember because like when we haven't seen each other or whatever, it's a little behind the scenes here. Like I like to put on one of our old YouTube videos and watch 5 or 10 minutes of it and just reminisce about how
crazy times
how silly and goofy and dumb we are and like how fun it is just being together and those nights that were when the kids were real little. And we would just go until 2 or 3. That sounds terrible.
Remember?
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, we did. I mean, that's true. We did. You remember Arwen? We obviously, that was that. Like you can actually hear her in the background, just walking and stuff. Powders. And man, it's so crazy to think that I'm honored, really, to kind of be there, or whatever. Yeah. So, okay, we got a caller coming in here.
Let's go, baby.
Let's see if I can get this merged the right way here. So, let's see.
Call
metal banger.
My name is Liam Hepper, also known as 5.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Also known as welcome to the Hobbit Hotline, also known as 5-second energy. What is up, dude?
Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you
too, man.
Yeah, what was your first name again? I missed it.
My name is Liam.
Liam,
welcome to the Hobbit Hotline, dude. Tell us about yourself, and then if you want to, let us know what you think about Rings of Power, man.
Yeah. Keep it positive, though, Liam. Come on now.
Yeah.
Follow Lord Stanley's orders, please.
Okay, yep, definitely. So I started listening to you guys a bit after you had finished The Lord of the Rings because my dad was actually listening to it, and then he turned me on to you guys. Yeah, he listens to a ton of podcasts in the car and was like listening to all your stuff to and from work. So he's like, you gotta check these guys out. They're super awesome. So I did, and I just binged the whole Lord of the Rings super fast, and it was really awesome.
Dang.
Yeah. So as far as like Tolkien for me has been a big part of my life. My older sister by 2 years, her name is Arwen. So it's pretty much been straight up since I was born. You kind of get thrown in the deep end with it.
Dang.
No joke.
That's awesome,
amazing.
actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so, my dad loves it. It's been a big part of my life growing up. So I guess when, Rings of Power was announced, I was super excited. I thought as far as after the first season, I thought there was definitely some ups and some downs. I think just generally I thought it was interesting seeing how the different stories being told during the Second Age, just due to like in the Silmarillion and the appendices, you get kind of the big picture stuff, but you don't really see how Elrond and Galadriel would talk to each other on a day-to-day basis. I thought that was just really cool to see. again, there's stuff that I didn't like. I think generally choosing an elf like Galadriel as a main character was just a really tough choice because I thought narratively it's hard to make a believable character arc for a character who's already like 2,000 years old.
Wow, dude.
So I'm like, I remember watching the Numenor scenes in the first season and being like, come on, Galadriel should have better negotiation skills than this. Like, I feel like this is stuff she should have known by now.
Wow.
I think the second season so far has really improved on a lot of stuff. I think there's definitely some things that I don't love or I'm still waiting to see more on, but as far as like just casually enjoying it, I've been having a good time, even though it's definitely inconsistent with a lot of the lore pieces. But yeah, I think it's been a good fun watch. Take some time.
Dude, I don't think I'll just say this. That was incredible, and I don't know if I've ever heard someone say it. I'm sure someone has, but I have not heard someone say it as perfectly as you just said it there. And I felt like I've been trying to think of the words to capture that feeling. That I think that's it, dude. With making Galadriel a main character is a tough task to pull off. Like maybe in a believable way, like true to her character through the lore, maybe an impossible task. And like as have you ever heard someone put it that way, that beautifully?
No, I think
that was just like,
I think that's the big struggle. Yeah, because I'm also it's that choice, and it's off-putting for a lot of people, and it's hard. We talked about before the show, like the connectability with the elves is kind of tough, and we're so used to going on a journey really with like the hobbits, and all of our stories, and so like how are they going to do that? I do like what Liam is saying though about getting to see more, because my dad's the same way. He would love to see more of the elves, and I actually almost wonder if I shouldn't play this for him. I've never gone over to his house, pulled up Prime, and because again, that's too much for him. I mean, that's pulling up the apps and stuff's difficult for Papa Kirk. But I think I would like to go over there and see what he thinks about this. He might really like it because he wants to see more of that. But the problem is the elves that he wants to see more of that from are the elves.
They're not going to be like,
that are from Lord of the Rings. And so I think it's just kind of hard. So Liam, I think that's really well said, is that like we get to see that day in, day out sort of conversation or more dialogue between Elrond and Galadriel. And so again, that is interesting just to see their relationship. And it almost feels like what we're seeing now would be way, way earlier than what we're led to sort of believe. It would be a much, much earlier version of them, not even like a second age version, like early second age, or maybe, even, So, but
this is like stuff that you would think would have happened pre-leaving Valinor or stuff, anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Maybe at a different time. Yeah.
I do want to kind of, on the side note though, say that on the other hand, I think what they do with Elrond has been really interesting, and playing with the elves' perception of time in relation to mortal beings. I think that has really been excellent. I think, especially in the first season, with the whole kind of drama between Elrond and Durin about, how time doesn't really mean much to an elf, but, in Durin's perspective, like his whole life has changed. And I think that's something that they've really been trying to play with in the show, is like the perspectives and making each character show their justifications, and like kind of what Lang was saying earlier, like you kind of want to root for Sauron in some ways, kind of like giving him motivations and putting stuff from his perspective. And I think that's just been a really interesting take, even though despite some of the lore inconsistencies, I definitely think that's been pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and
that is a great conversation. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
hey,
dude.
listen here, buddy. If I press this button right here, I can mute you. Okay. I'll just very quick. I'll make it real quick. I think it's, what. So Liam, one of the things too, like I've sort of, and I think Aaron said the same thing. You have to take the lore inconsistencies and just set them aside, and sort of say, okay, now what is the lens
for sure
that makes this interesting? Because then you look at, if you don't look at that Sauron and you kind of wonder, okay, who is this guy that that they are actually trying to present to us who is the Galadriel they're trying to present to us, and take it from there, and really not. You can't. I mean, we're gonna lay now gripe like oldies on
Right.
Patreon and stuff for just because we want to and it's fun. But it's like my new lens is okay. What is the intrigue of the show, and what is it that they're trying to sell us on? And I'm still around. I'm still going to be watching and trying to figure out how Galadriel's going to grow to be that character, or what is up with Tom Bombadil and the Stranger, and then Sauron. Like I'm waiting for Sauron to do something super masterful, like some master stroke where he's deceiving everybody. Anatar, the reveal is really cool, and so yeah, I think you're right. You got to look at it through a lens that is not heavy lore based, right? So
yeah. I think it kind of comes down to is that Tolkien had this really massive world and this complex story that he wanted to tell, and that when you put it in the hands of someone else, they don't know that entire story necessarily in the same way that Tolkien perceived it. But the writers and the directors still have their own story that they're trying to tell, and I think kind of putting for something like Rings of Power, being able to put aside Tolkien's story, even though there would be obviously stuff we would love to see from that, but kind of delving into the writers are trying to tell us something here, like what is it, and trying to delve into that, I think definitely really helped my enjoyment over the show.
Yeah.
And I think, Liam, I think you like a few other people have echoed the same sentiment. I think that like Jake Hodgson said the same thing. We've had several others. I think that really, as came to that realization, I think it's the only way to really enjoy the show. I think that's a great perspective. That's a great mentality. It's a TV show, right? So we don't have to take it seriously as we do sometimes.
At the end of the day,
there's a million of them out there, and this is just the one that we got. And so I think that's a great point that you made as well about Tolkien, especially the stuff in the Silmarillion. Man, he was writing that like when he was a teenager at school, when he first started like messing around with epics and sagas and reading them and developing his own languages in the trenches. When he had trench fever, these stories were coming to him. He was writing them down in just snippets and bits and pieces. He worked on these stories we're seeing now longer than anything else that we wrote. He knew them, like you said, more intimately. And they were like literally a life's work, a compilation of a genius man's life's work. So even the most master, maybe it's why it's never been attempted before and probably could never be done to everyone's satisfaction anyway, why it would just be impossible for someone to, maybe not impossible, but certainly to possess the same kind of like understanding and familiarity with the Second Age that Tolkien himself had. So, and I also, before you hop off, I'm standing up and I'm literally doing a standing ovation right now to your dad.
Oh yeah,
for naming your sister Arwen. That is one of the coolest damn things I've ever heard in my life. And then what's your dad's name? We want to give him a shout out.
My dad's name is Rick.
Rick, you're the man,
let's go.
Rick, thank you first of all, thank you. I can't believe that someone's dad listened to you and me and thought it was good.
Dude, I love it.
Super humbled by that, Rick.
Yeah, no,
and then also the fact that you just from talking to Liam for a few minutes here, raised such a fine young man with such good perspective. So God dang, man, that's incredible.
Yeah,
so,
Liam, thanks.
Liam, thank you for calling in, dude. This is great.
I've seen you in the chat. He's always bringing that. He's bringing the energy. He's always bringing the
energy, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love it. All right.
Anytime you guys need a 5-second boost, let me know.
Yeah. All right.
Dude,
all right.
That's awesome. We need you. We need you a bunch during episode time, brother.
Right. Right. Dude, Liam, thank you so much, man. We really do appreciate you. And call back in. We're gonna do another one, at the very end of the season, and we'll get your thoughts again, maybe if you want. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome, man. Have a great night.
You too.
All righty. I think we have pulled up here. Let me send. I got a message to Mike Charles here. Let's see. I'm gonna say,
come on, Mike.
Go ahead and call, baby. Let's see if we can
get in here.
Let's see if we can get him on here. I got some pointed questions for him, to be honest with you.
We need his part 2.
Well, yeah, we need his part 2. We also just, I don't know. There's just, let's see. Oh, Our special guest is also hitting us up there in the whims. People are just here we go. Hold on. This is a big caller guy coming in. Here we go.
To accept, press 1.
Hello, welcome to the Hobbit Hotline, Boromir. But I gotta say, honestly, with all this method acting that I think I've heard whispers on the internets that you're becoming a method guy, that you didn't just refer to yourself as Banazir. I'm sort of a little bit, or as Galadriel would say, Banazir. I'm a little, I don't know what to think about that, dog. It's a very Boromir thing to do.
I'm getting there.
What's up, baby? How you doing, man?
It's gonna come out. Good. How you guys doing?
Dude,
doing good, brother.
Mike, hold on. Let me get him. Let me get him real quick. You get to talk to Mike more than I do, so I'm gonna get after Mike here for a second, okay? Mike,
okay, let's go.
We played your voicemail earlier, and you said that this show has no soul, and I'm concerned about your soul, my friend. Are you okay? You've been all right, because let me tell you, it sounded like, and we kind of poked a little fun at you, but I mean, you called it. It sounded like the biggest sigh of a voicemail. You were just like, yeah, it's like, it's like, fellas, what am I supposed to say about this show, man?
I loved every second of it, Mike.
It had me cracking
like
up,
dude. Our spirit animal, dude.
Yeah. So
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sir. I yield to you, Boromir.
I was gonna say, because I'm pretty sure I texted Lane earlier that day, and I was like, I'm gonna call in, but I'm gonna try not to just trash this show. I'm gonna try.
With that, when you texted me that and the voicemail that we got, I felt like you were very respectful and kind. I expected like a Lane as appendices, Patreon level thrashing, and I thought you even gave stuff that you liked and predictions. I thought that was incredible, dude. So no, I mean, because you texted me afterwards, you said if you hear it and it's too much, just let me know. And I'll call in again. And I was like, no, it's not going to be too much, Mike. Not going to be too much. So we know what you thought about episode 1, right? And I think it was before episode 4 where I got a little this video that we're requesting that you let us post that on Instagram, possibly, of you pressing play on episode 4. Like I think 2 or 3 days after it came out, and just letting out the world's biggest sigh, one sigh to rule them all.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, this is the most beautiful, like this needs to be a viral reel for everyone who's feeling this way about Rings of Power. But how have you felt since?
So
there it is.
There it is. I know. Well, I'm like, I don't want to just come out of the gate and just wreck the thing, because
okay.
I mean, if people are enjoying it, I am happy for them. I hope that they're getting out whatever they want out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not so much of a Tolkien purist, but I mean, I know enough about the lore and what they're not doing, like what they're doing and what they're not doing, and that's where my frustration comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That in the last couple episodes, I just think it's just lifting lines directly from like the Fellowship, lifting lines directly from the movies and placing them, and it's just that kind of stuff. It's just like, are we really doing this? That type of thing for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a lot that I do like about it too. I mean, the dwarves are probably my favorite parts of the whole show.
Has anyone, Mike, have you heard anyone come out and say they don't like the dwarves? Because I person say the dwarves suck.
No,
I haven't heard.
No,
like that's the one common takeaway. And I mean, Mike, that's pretty sick for what you're scheming up right now. I mean, I think that's a huge like validation right there. But I think that like people enjoy dwarves. I think maybe dwarves might be a little bit harder to mess up as well. I think they've kind of become like this show's version of what the Hobbits were for the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of our relatable and the ones we're rooting for the most, actually.
Quick jump in here real quick. Sure. So this is to Mike, like and Delane. when you look at the dwarves, I never even really thought about it, but I guess we always compliment the orcs and we say, dang, they look just sort of like the orcs that we had in Lord of the Rings, right? They look just like it. And you look at like the Hobbit and you look at the way they did dwarves there. I mean, it feels like same thing. There's really nothing's lost there, and they're trying to mirror what Peter Jackson did, his team, because imagine if they went out and did that super differently. Now, why didn't they do that with the elves? Why didn't they give them,
true.
like why mirror the dwarves so perfectly and the orcs, but then not do that with our elvish characters here and there? I mean,
Great question.
It seems like that might be, just in terms of the appearances, you might want to make it, I don't know, more continuity or something. But anyways, I think that's a great point. Nobody is having any beef with the dwarves. They feel really fun, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going down. So
ever since, I mean, that episode 4, I didn't really care for. 5, I don't know if that's what you're discussing on this one. I definitely like the pacing a lot better. There were no hobbits, which I think worked. I think that whole storyline, not having that in there, worked. But ever since then, I mean, I'm trying to find little things that to enjoy and not just eat the whole thing.
Right.
And I was talking to Jake Hodgson about this most recent episode. He was like, he messaged me after he saw it. He's like, I kind of liked episode 5, honestly. He was like, I really, most of it I enjoyed. He said it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it wasn't crap. Like compared to the rest of the episodes, I felt like it was a lot better. And I started thinking about it too. I'm like, darn near like a third of it was the dwarf storyline with D3 and D4 and the rings and like, digging for the gold and everything. And I thought to myself, like, I guess maybe for that 1/3, I was at least watching to see what would happen next. We got more of Peter Mullen, who is that incredible actor who plays D3. So that was we finally got some depth with during the 3rd, which is cool. And we got to see more D4, some great scenes with Disa and even Narvi and the rings, like that whole process, even though done incorrectly according to lore, I thought it was actually somewhat like interesting and intriguing. I guess in terms of all the episodes, 5 probably was, like, I don't know if you'd say the most balanced, maybe the most like linear, maybe almost.
Yeah,
would you say that?
It definitely didn't feel it did not feel as all over the place as the other episodes felt like to me. It's jumping from one thing to the other. It's just like, hang on. Like this, it was maybe 3, like the elves, the dwarves, and what was going on in Numenor, maybe. So that was a lot more balanced.
Yes. Okay, so let me ask you. Can I ask you a question? What do you think about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, you go.
No, you're about to say something. I'm not gonna.
Hey, if somebody don't go, I'm gonna go.
I was just. Yeah, you go.
I'm kidding.
He has nothing.
I got nothing.
I was just going to pay a big compliment to Lloyd Owen because I think he is a fantastic Elendil.
That's perfect because I was really going to ask you.
I really like watching him.
Yeah.
I mean, even though some of that stuff in Numenor was, probably made up just for the sake of drama, I think he's doing a really good job as Elendil, and I like watching him.
I was literally going to ask you about Lloyd Owen, so that's perfect. We were thinking the same thing.
Just scripted? This is a scripted show, guys? What's going on? I don't have the script. What's going on? Come on.
Line. I feel the same way. Do you feel like he kind of you could imagine a cinematic world where he is Viggo Mortensen's Aragorn's Elendil?
Oh, I could see it.
Yeah, me too. Something about the voice, the mannerisms, the look, the even though the character, the way he carries himself, even though the character isn't like super, they've made him not super, like, I don't feel like super strong. It's almost like he can't help himself. Like he kind of carries himself in a way, like you said, a body language or something, where it's like this dude. Let me put it this way. He's the only character, man or woman, in this show where I can imagine him swinging a sword and doing damage.
Yeah.
Like he really is the only one, which was something that Viggo Mortensen possessed with his sword skills, swordsmanship, and so yeah, just even on that level, I'm like, yeah, he makes sense. He pairs well. He's a great actor.
Can I just say, I to chime in, I don't have a whole lot to say on this guy, but I've never heard a guy deliver 4 words better in my life. Honestly, I mean, just
here it is. Here it comes.
Here it is. You're right. I'm not. I mean, I've telling you, that the way it's, and again, I mean, he did deliver it very well. There's pauses. There's these little moments. I'm not an actor. I don't know anything about it, but
I don't know about that.
I mean, dude, he just really, he just nailed it. And it's like there are some he's awesome. He's awesome on screen. He looks the part, feels the part, walks it, talks it, and give him more lines. Give him something more epic to say. Give him something, I don't know. Here's a question for you guys about the writers, because actually Steven had this up here. This is over on the YouTube live. He says, do you think that he said, doesn't the Rings of Power have a large number of writers? I wonder if the Dwarven writers are just better than the Elven writers. And like, is there teams working on dial, like, kind of keeping that consistency for certain storylines?
Yeah.
Like that could be the case.
Steven, I had a question where I was just like, because I remember when they showcased how many writers they have, and I'm sure that's probably commonplace, right? I have no idea what I'm talking about, but to me, I was like, dang, do you think maybe there's like too many writers? Do you think part of why we get these stories where we're just like, wait, what? Like I was telling Ez about last episode, Mike, is I couldn't, like, I don't know if it's because my brain is just mush, but I couldn't even follow what people were saying. Episode 4 and episode 5 dialogue, I was just like, what? Like, what do we even, like, especially the Pharazôn stuff where he was like talking about Kemen's mommy's prophecy before she died, and if you do my bidding, I'll tell you. I'm just like, what is happening? Like, is this supposed to build suspense and intrigue? Because we hate these guys. Like, why do we give a crap? And so I just kind of wonder too, like, do we need 50 writers? Do we need 30 writers? 20? Like, I think about shows like, okay, here you go, Simon Tolkien. I'm gonna play in your sandbox. Breaking Bad didn't have 30 writers. Didn't have 20 writers. It was like 2 or 3. It was 2 or 3 to help balance a story, to help bring different perspectives, to make sure one person wasn't way off. And I just think to myself, like, that's great that you spent like half your budget on a writing team, but did we, like, the result, is that part of the result that we're seeing where it's just like a story that, and like we said, dialogue too, that falls flat? That is there one person in all those storyline groups that goes, hey guys, found a perfect trilogy line we can use this episode.
Dude, that's the point. Half of the lines are from the Lord of the Rings. Half of the lines are literally pulled from it. So what did you need a writing team for? Not to be super grumpy, but I mean, sorry.
Stanley, come on now.
I'm gonna put Stanley's comment. I'm gonna go back. My bad, Stanley. Dang it.
Shoot, Stanley.
No,
I kind of wonder that too.
Agree. Yeah. I think, just too many writers just convolutes it too much. Like, and I look at like what you and I have been doing, the work on concerning Hobbits, like the episodes that I'm helping you out on, like I couldn't imagine having, 10, 15, 20 people trying to write an episode. No. Like, can you imagine how frustrating that would be?
No, it'd be all over the place. And actually, so Erin asked this question. She asked us, like, what is it in terms of adapting? Because that's what we're doing with Concerning Hobbits. We're adapting Tolkien's works. Like, I mean, some people refer to it as fan fiction. That's fine if that's. But like, I think we care way too much about what Tolkien actually wrote for it to be purely fan fiction. Because I don't know. I mean, we definitely have to put stuff in there on our own. But like, we're constantly like, dude, and I'll text us. I'll be like, dude, did you know this happened in this story? Like this. Like, when I learn new bits, you and I are like running stuff by each other. Be like, I had this idea. Mike has sent me so many text messages where he goes, I've got an idea, but I want to make sure it makes sense. Like, I want to go find a nugget, because Tolkien didn't talk about this, but I want to make sure that there's something in his lore that can be like a source for it almost. And I can't imagine like 15 people's different interests in an episode. I think like it would be, first of all, it'd take forever Or you would just have to go, okay, whatever. Yep, sure, do that. That's fine. I want this part. It would almost be like a negotiation piece where you'd be like, I want this line in. You want, and like you and I have had, we've definitely worked through processes where like, it's like, you've got this vision, I've got this vision. How do we bring them both together? And then once we bring them both together, how do we, especially when we like have, I mean, people don't even know like how much. I mean, I've alluded to it, but Mike wrote episodes 2 and 3. Mike Charles. Like his name's first on that script for a reason. Like I'm not joking. I still be stuck on he wrote them. He created 99% of those episodes. But at one point we got to episode 3 and we kind of caught up to each other, right? So we're at the end of episode 3, the end of this tale, and I kind of like wrote ahead and he wrote ahead, and then we got together at the very end. Now this is like behind the scenes stuff we've never talked about. We got together at the very end and we were like, okay, I like this part. I want this in. No problem. I think this can work. Okay, I want this part. Let's put that. Okay, how do we make these work? And then at the end we go, okay, now look, this stuff that we're doing, is this making sense in the story? Is it making sense with Tolkien's lore? If it doesn't, we're getting rid of it. If it does, okay. And if it's an elaboration, is it one that at least kind of like tries to honor? But I think the fail-safe for that one is you go, well, fans like it. Like I'm a fan, you're a fan. We're writing it, but if we saw this story, if we were like consumers of the story first, would we like it? And then that's kind of So I can't imagine a group that big having that same kind of process, honestly. But yeah. So.
Well, hey guys, I was wondering, would it be possible I counted up the number of writers that they have on this show, just in terms of So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different people, I believe, have written for this show. Would you guys be down to do like maybe one of the episodes and just pull together 8 maybe randos? I mean, maybe writing backgrounds. I don't know. Like put them in a room together and let's see what kind of story we can come up with.
Okay, as you said that, I'm thinking of something else too. Like you could almost have a Star Wars situation where I haven't looked at all the writing credits, but you've got 3 of those guys working and women working on episodes 1. The other 3 other ones working on episodes 2 and 3. 2 of them, 2 different ones working on episode 4. Then the ones who worked on episode 3, they're working on episode 4 and 5. You know what I'm saying? Like they could be split up over a season, and that could be also why, like, when you watch a season, you're like, what is happening? Why are we following this one storyline for 2 episodes straight and then not again until the final 2 episodes? Like, why are some characters getting lost when others are being like, we know what color their toenail ooze is? Like, how is this happening? I think that might be part of it too, maybe. I mean, we can look at the credits and like see, are they all working on each episode? I bet probably not. I bet they're all like taking different episodes. So I guess in that respect, you would be able to work well on an episode, right? 2 or 3 of you at a time, for sure. But then you'd probably be thinking about like, well, we didn't write the previous episode, so we got to go consult with them. And if we are carrying a storyline on, how do they want it to happen? What's their vision? So then you're almost writing with your own stuff and their stuff. I mean, I kind of wonder if is that how Tolkien's gotten lost in this whole thing, where it's like that's as far as they're getting. And then also there was the writer's strike. So this show continued on during the writer's strike. They were filming stuff. They were filming for months, I believe, without any writers on and no writing being allowed to be done. So no rewrites, nothing, for like an entire chunk.
That was the first season, right?
Filming. I think it was the second one. I think it was the second one because it was last year. Because that's when I had started writing stuff for Concerning Hobbits at the very beginning. I'm like, dude, I'm writing when guys who are and girls who are like professionals aren't even allowed to right now. And I remember thinking that I'm like, this is kind of crazy. But yeah, so I think that maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. Again, I'm not the ultimate, not the ultimate judge. It's just like a lot of people have brought this point up, and it's just not sitting well with a lot of fans. I think it is a legit gripe for sure.
I just want to let you guys know real quick in the chat. So just a development. I love the chat over here.
Boy.
So Stanley, who's known for Keep It Positive, right?
Stanley, I'm sorry.
Wrote in here, and I'm put on the screen, more writers, the better. And then Steven wrote back and said, stop being negative, Stanley, with an upside down smiley face. The chat's out of control. It's out of control, and I love it. And so I want to give them a shout out for hanging in here with me over on YouTube. It's just a lot of fun. But it's an interesting. It's some of the behind the scenes stuff that you don't really think about that might affect a show. And I guess until Steven had said that, I'm kind of like, yeah, how many writers are there, and who is over? I mean, we have the showrunners overseeing that, but then each of those writers has a team, and is there a consistent team working with the dwarves or the elves, or how are they dividing that? I don't know. So
I didn't think so. Those are like head writers. They also have like writers underneath them.
Okay,
is that what you're implying? I mean, I don't know. That might be true.
Yes.
That might be, especially on a show this size. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Well, for a while here. Yeah,
it's interesting to think of that kind of like manpower, and then you plop on Tolkien Untangled. Have you watched Tolkien Untangled's like story pitch, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Dude, should we tell him to or tell him not to? Like,
no, I think he should. I think especially since he's art. So yeah, Mike. I mean, I can send you the exact links. Yeah, just like when you get a chance to listen to a podcast. It's kind of a podcast, But again, just even listening to it, it's so good.
He did 5 seasons. Like he literally put himself in a simulation. He was like, I'm gonna before I see episode 1 of season 1. I think these came out in like July or August of 2022. So right before the show came out, he put out these videos. At least the first 1 or 2, maybe. But he had constructed all the content for each of these videos, even if they came out after the show. I mean, regardless, he was writing like seasons at a time. So season 1 came out before season 1 of the show, and but he did 5 seasons. He challenged himself to use only the content they said they had the rights to. And dude, like his opening scene as for Elrond.
Oh, it's so good. Go ahead and tell him. Do you remember it?
Oh yeah. So I mean, like I think if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time since I've watched. The one season focused on elves. So it was a scene between Elrond and Elrohir from. Wait, no, not Elrohir. What's his brother's name? Elros? Oh my God, how do I not know this?
Yeah. You got it right.
Oh, what's Elrond's brother's name, guys?
Yeah.
Elrond's brother.
Wait, State Elros Fire.
Oh, Elros.
Elros. Okay, thank you.
You got it right.
So it's like you've got Elros, this old man, speaking to a young man, and you think it's his son, right? Because Elros is ancient, and in the next season you have that same scene, but like flip-flopped or something, and I can't even remember how he does it because it's so brilliant. But he reveals that it's Elrond and Elros instead of a father and a son. But upon first watch, you would think, oh my God, what is? And it compels you to and he talks about the Tolkien's he talks about this time. It's imprinted in my memory time and time again that Tolkien's overarching theme for the Second Age and the Silmarillion and some of those stories, the Akalabeth, is death and deathlessness. He said anytime he got stuck and he didn't know like how to develop this theoretical show, he thought it's got to come back to death and the desire for deathlessness. So that goes to Elrond and Elros's decision. It goes to what Tolkien talks about, like the gift mankind being given the gift of death. It applies to the Númenóreans, how eventually they when they turn to those cults, they want to be like gods, they want to be like the elves, they want to be deathless, and they go to extremes to try and like prop themselves up to the point of incurring the wrath of the gods, right? So it's incredible. And he talks about like entire, because this is something I thought about the other day. I'm like, well, this conversation with Galadriel and Elrond would probably be in Elvish, right? I mean, like, how often do we actually get them speaking Elvish together? Almost not at all. And when they do it, it doesn't even make any sense. It's like, I think in the first episode of season 2, they were like trying to like have a secret conversation that Gil-galad wouldn't hear, but he also speaks Elvish, so it didn't make any sense. While he continued to speak the common tongue, they were like speaking Elvish to each other, like, listen to him. No, I can't, but he has like, on that. Dude, he was like, right. He was like, Tolkien Untangled was like, you might have entire episodes that are mostly in Elvish, and you'll probably lose some listeners, but with the use of subtitles, you'll keep the fans, and the story will be good enough that people will come back. And I was like, yeah, dude, that's how if you miss you miss towards the fans. Like you don't miss towards people who aren't fans of Tolkien. It doesn't make any sense. So give them a watch. They're like, I think it's like 6 hours of content. But
it's insane. It's worth
I'll
it.
look that up.
I mean, he has a video for season 5, and then he has a whole nother separate video for the Last Alliance at the end of season 5. And the way it builds, he's able to time jump without like in a natural way, where he just like seasons 1 and 2 are all about elves. Seasons 3 and 4 are about the Númenóreans and the fall of Númenor, and then season 5 is about the Last Alliance. It's incredible, dude. It just makes so much more sense. Like, yeah. And because you have like Ez was talking about the other day with the Siege of Eregion, right? And it's like Isildur and Elendil, they weren't around for that, right, Ez? Like that, they weren't even alive when this happened.
No, not even close.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this timeline, you got all these different, like, he read the description of the Siege of Eregion, and almost nothing that happens that what Tolkien wrote about the Siege of Eregion it's like almost like the exact opposite is happening in the show. And so like he's able to, Tolkien Untangled does this great thing of like showing the wars with Sauron, like the wars, not just like 1 or 2 battles, not a war with Adar, these wars with Sauron that occur, thousands of years, over the span of thousands of years. And that's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to check that out. I'll do that.
Hey Mike, before we let you go or anything, we got a caller coming in here at about 10 minutes. We need I think we need a warm up this time for the unexpected golf outing, because that was rough, man. I mean, I remember I was sore for 2 days after that. Like, that's how old I'm getting,
All right, so tell me, how many times have you guys been out since last year?
Dude, are you ready? I've actually been out. I've been out 5 or 6 times with my dad. Remember last summer, I was my first time out.
Nice.
I had never gone out. I had an eagle shot. Literally, Delane, did I tell you about this? Had an eagle shot. Dude.
No, you did
Don't
not.
believe me? Yeah, let me tell you right now.
What are you Farazan seeing eagles?
130 yards out, right? Just boom.
You whip your club out and say, "I'm the king."
I mean,
I believe you.
Okay.
You're a wicked golfer. All I want to know, fellas, though, and I know Mike's been out there, because I see these posts. I see the Desert Fox golf stuff. I see I'm Whacker by Whacker. I can't. I'm Whacker Guy Golf. Is that the name? Mike has. You guys got to go follow Mike's golf Instagram account, because it's beautiful. It just makes you want to go get on the course. But all I know is after that first hole, I was looking around thinking, "Hold on, fellas," like, because I think me and Mike were the only ones who had any kind of success. I was like, "Kurt, don't you live on a golf course?"
Oh, we all were. Quadruple bogey. We quadruple
bogey. Except for me and Mike. I think me and Mike were the only two who parred hole 1. And then we got to the hole 2 with that stupid hill. And I never saw the light of day again. But how many times have I been out, Mike? I only golf for the long expected golf outing. I don't golf in between because I don't need to. And B, I keep it sacred, fellas. I don't know about you guys out there just selling your soul to Sauron. I'm gonna play 18. I'm gonna play 36.
That's trendy. That's trendy now.
You boys, it's trendy now.
So, yeah, Mike, I'll see you. Mike, I'll see you at Chapel Hill. Let's get around in before, because, dude, in a weird way, like Lane, you are invited, but you had to go and say all that bull crap. That's bull crap. You need to come out. You need to get away, come out.
Dare you?
How
dare you?
I'm telling you right now, we can go out and I'll bring the microphones on the golf course.
That would be awesome, dude. I've never played Chapel Hill. I still have not played Chapel Hill, man.
Are you kidding me?
Never have. All those years of being right next to it, I've never played it, brother.
Dude, I'm telling Mike, do you like that?
We gotta play then. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe we do. Take it to the North Farthing.
Dude,
oh my God, guys!
Absolutely. Hey, also, while Mike's on
Jones
here,
he'd have to get up at like 3:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, no. We'll have
to be an afternoon.
No, we'll definitely for the long expected golf party. We'll do that somewhere else. But I'm just thinking a pre-round in the fall, something, just
heck yeah,
get our clubs out.
We got to get that scheduled. I mean, I think that we're pretty much just waiting for
me,
boys football season to end, right?
I think we're waiting for me to catch up on the 500 memes I've missed in there.
Yeah, that too.
God, I love that. That chat it's
a soup, man.
It's unreal. I go in there and I watch about 5 and I'm dying. I got like a just a little my side starts hurting, and I'm like, I can't, dude. You guys, this is too much. It's like my homework. I always tell Lottie, I'm like, my homework is to go in here and check what did the guys send? What are the reels? And it's rough. It is rough. But one more thing, Mike.
No, I'm in.
You down? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. So, Lane, last episode we didn't. Just while Mike is here, real quick. I know it's getting late for you, but we might be, and I'm only really doing it if Mike says that he'd be down to do it with us, especially because we're going to have some concerning Hobbits moving forward, and I think this is a really cool way to get people together. We might be bringing back a special party up to the North Farthing, and it might be
really
a long expected, unexpected, whatever party,
an incredibly long expected party.
Would it be
overdue?
Long overdue party up in the North Farthing. We had people asking us about it. Lane and I were talking. Lane, the whole last episode on Patreon, I kept saying, "Hey, the big announcement at the end. Big announcement at the end."
You never did it.
Never said it. Yep. Never said it. God. So anyway,
can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
This is so weird because the other day I was caught up on all the podcasts. I had a long drive. I just needed something to listen to. Mm-hmm. I listened to the last Long Expected Party podcast, like the 3-parter.
Dang.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, I'd love to do this again. I'm not even kidding you.
You would be down for a return. Is that what you're telling us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. See, we're checking with the crew. All right, we're checking with the inner circle, and we're saying, hey, let's get this going. Let's get everybody back. And I think it would be a blast. I think we would just do it up at the barn, Mike. Like up there, we could house it. We could have it catered. We could.
Guys, maybe we do a little scramble.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God.
Anyone wants to go play golf before the party?
Oh my God. What if we
play golf ball?
Dude,
oh man.
What if we had an early, like 7 o'clock tea time up there? We get like, we have Mike, could you, how many guys could we, that would be insane, dude. That'd be insane.
I bet we'd get quite a few, I would say. I bet quite a few.
Holy, Chapel Hill would be.
At least 5. At least 5.
That'd be popping. That's
be snowed under. Yeah.
That'd be sick. So
anything you guys want, I'm there.
Heck yeah, baby.
All right, I'm gonna keep you to that Chapel Hill event though. Let's get Lane out on a fall afternoon and let's get him down because David Downing about killed me on that golf course. Do you guys remember that? I think by the end he was like, man, I think I ticked Ez off. I went back to Lottie. I'm like, I'm happy to be back alive. And she's like, what do you mean? You're just golfing. Yeah, but we were golfing on like a mountainside, and like Dave just like he's like, well, sorry, that was actually I kind of took that turn too hard. Like. Sorry, dude, he can kind of tell I was getting a little freaked out, but I'm like, this ain't an airplane, bro. Like, what's going on?
That's true. He's taking his aeronautics to the wrong. He was getting pissed at my driving. He was like, stay on the gas. What are you doing? I'm like, Dave, if I go any faster, we're gonna fly off.
He was riding your butt, and I was just sort of like, it was insane, dude. I love that kid. I literally amazing, and also love the name of his child, and I just. Was like such good people. Yes. And I'm sitting out there. I'm like, I saw a different side of this guy. I originally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pair up with Dave. No problem. Real chill. But I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, sorry, Dave, love you. I want to play with you, but we are going to be on a course that is flat where there are no, like hills. And we almost fell off down into the ravine. I mean,
dude, you know what the tail, I guess you did. You know what the telltale for him is I think we found out unencumbered how competitive he is, and we should have known. We should have known when that giant ginger walked into our backyard out of nowhere, never met him before, comes over, kissing butt, shaking hands, love you guys,
politician,
you're so cool, giving hugs, and then he comes in there and he upstaged 3 previous shared champions on the potato cook-off. One of them being Kurt Jones.
Yeah, he took him out.
So I think there was a twinkle in Kurt's eye when I handed that robe. My favorite thing was handing the LEP robe to Kurt, have him put it on, and then to see all these, he's taking it on cruises, every vacation. Right. He sends pictures with it. He takes it on tour. But my favorite thing, there's a picture that Sarah took of me putting the coat on him, and you can see, I'm looking at the chair right now. You can see Mike sitting in one of the Adirondacks, and he's got this. He ain't smiling. He ain't smiling.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have a look of joy on his face. Mike's like, "You got my coat on, bro." So I'm excited for the revival of the Kurt Mike.
Little rivalry.
Little side bet we got going on because the rivalry exactly. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna. By the way,
I'm coming for it this year.
Well, the only reason
I know you are, man.
The only reason I won't attempt to win the golf outing is because I can't fit into that jacket. So there ain't no way.
We'll have it tailored.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah. Oh no. I saw that jacket. I was like, that's the smallest jacket I've ever seen in my life. I was like, there ain't no way. You know what I mean? Like could you imagine if Phil Mickelson won the Masters and they put this tiny jacket on him? They're like, sorry, Phil, it doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, jeez.
It is actually skin tight on Kurt. So yeah,
that's why Kurt's he's a ripped, lean dude. I'm sitting here going like, look,
lean.
I got some muscles in hibernation, but I'm not. I mean, you know.
Dude, now we got Mike Charles over here getting lats pumping out a lat.
Dude,
fitting it either. We'll just have to get it tailored for whoever is the champion that year. Well, my mom's a seamstress. We could do that.
Right.
No problem.
No
problem. Yeah.
By the way, sometimes, Mike, I would love to talk behind the scenes about some of the stuff you've been up to. You've been up to some crazy stuff.
Bro, he's been slinging weights, dog. Yeah. Slinging weights.
He's been slinging weights, but I feel like something else is going on. I mean, you know, I could be wrong, but I
might have a little something up my sleeve. We'll have to have a chat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Baby. That's what I was thinking. I know this guy's keeping secrets and he's keeping them safe, and something's brewing. And I just want you to know that I'm rooting for you and I'm seeing it. And it's definitely not unexpected. So anyway. All right. Well, I think we got our next caller coming in here, Lane. But Mike, love you, bro.
Yes,
literally.
Love you, Mike.
Love you, boys. Good talking to you guys.
Yep. You too, bro. Thanks for calling in, man. That was awesome. That was an awesome phone call to end on.
Awesome.
Of course. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yeah, dude. Anytime, man. Love you, bro.
All right. Love you, Mike. Later, buddy.
See you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Mike Charles, the great lead author of episodes 2 and 3 of Concerning Hobbits, the great Van Galpsy himself. As there is something else and I've alluded. I can't remember if I've texted you. I think I have texted you this. Do you know about the secret project he's working on?
The top secret. The what?
The spinoff of sorts. The spinoff.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Oh, this is brand new. This is something he's just come to me with. Okay, I'll tell you after.
Yeah, and I'll also tell you what I think is brewing. Top secret.
Okay, all right, heck yeah.
So right, I think something's going on here. All right, I'm sending our number out to potentially our last caller. We might have one more after that too. I got a DM a few folks here who were talking about maybe popping on and me, just sort of letting them know when the line is open here. But let's see if we can get a special caller on here. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I don't know how this is going to work.
Master.
He's over there doing. This guy is coming from the West Coast.
He does everything. Does Travis do everything? He does everything. Talk about now he's getting jacked. Have you seen him in the weight room, bro?
Dude, I know. What is going on? I thought we were, hanging out with a bunch of hobbits and they all just went and got the protein shakes out and said,
I know.
I mean, they're skipping on the potatoes.
They're definitely old world hobbits or something for sure.
Yeah.
They ain't the modern day.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I think though, he's got this, Travis got all the technology and I'm like, dude, I don't know.
He does.
You might just have to simple call us in here, man. I don't know if this is all the,
okay.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do
I know he really wants to use that mic. I know, but we can tell him like I'm on the phone too. It's okay. It'll sound. I really like the phone call aesthetic.
Me too.
It sounds so cool.
If I weren't just sitting here, kind of doing this thing like next.
Can you call in?
What? Can I call in?
Can you call in yourself or put like a filter on that sounds like
dude, you can. There is actually a voice mod that I was like looking at. I was like, dude, I should totally ring myself in here.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like old radio, is what it's, or like new radio. But like I don't know how much. I mean, they have callers all the time, but people don't listen to radio as much anymore. It's got that old timey vibe that is just it's a texture. You can feel it. You can feel the voices in a different kind of way. But
yeah. Let's see here.
Dude, I really want to bust this bottle open.
What bottle?
The bottle of mead that we're supposed to share. I want to drink it all.
No, drink it right now. I can't.
I can't though.
I'll go get a White Claw right now. I don't care, dog.
But well, you're gonna have to tell him that because he's gonna be upset. I think.
Just save me. Pour me some and put it in the fridge.
That's true. Honestly, I could put it in your Tim Hortons cup is still out here. Did you know that?
Are you serious?
I'm leaving it.
Thank God.
You and Lottie are here again.
So I can come back and have a sip. Is there still some coffee in there?
Oh, dude, I haven't touched it.
I have a feeling
as it was.
I have a feeling that Steven likes Tim Hortons. Is that just like Minnesota? Is that like I don't know. Are there a lot of Tim Hortons over there? I feel like maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, yes. I thought you said the Mortons. I'm like,
wait,
the Mortons.
You said my Tim Hortons coffee, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hear you correctly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're like, dude, you get into Michigan, it's all Tim Hortons. There's no Starbucks anywhere. Yeah, like when we go to Mackinac, from like Ann Arbor on, you can't find I mean, maybe you can, but the further north you get, until you get to Mackinac, there's like one Starbucks in Mackinac City, and then every other stop is Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons. It's like north of a certain parallel because it's that Canadian invasion. For sure, they're drinking Tim Hortons in Minnesota,
dude. For sure.
Steven's sipping on that daily. Boy.
I've got. Hey, by the way, Jeffrey Miller, shout out. He's over here. We got him on the.
Oh yeah, baby. Yes.
We got him in here talking about skipping on the potatoes. Stanley just said, any predictions for the rest of season 2? And Steven said, stop being negative, Stanley.
Dude,
these
Steven
guys
and Stanley are going to become best friends.
It's lore on the podcast. We have podcast lore, and I just love it.
Always have.
It is so crazy, you guys. It's friggin' awesome.
So
cool. and then you got Liam like he's like, come on, Stanley. Everybody just getting on. It's great because
Stanley, I love it, bro. You're the man.
The man. I little unless Stanley isn't a man.
Unless you're Payne McKay. Yeah.
Unless it's like Eowyn sort of.
Jeez,
I am. God dang it, son of a gun. How about Liam's like Arwen?
Sister.
That is.
I know.
Are you?
Every once.
It's awesome.
I know. Every once, it is incredible. Every once in a while, I might contemplated it too. I think that was one of, because I did not think we were ever gonna have a boy. I just didn't think we were. And so, one of the if Vigo would have been a girl, he would have been Eleanor. Like, oh wow, Eleanor from Sam's daughter. And for a while, I think I really did contemplate like Arwen. Could we do Arwen? So sometimes I'll call Charlotte Sharwin because it kind of works. You got that R controlled vowel sound. But yeah, to name a kid Arwen. I mean, it's a beautiful name. It works for a dog. It works for a modern day human being. It works for a club. Let me get Arwen out here. Let me slap this ball across the course.
Yeah.
Are you there still? Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm messaging Travis and
yeah, sure. This is a throwback. This is like when Lane starts talking for 10 minutes.
It's great because I had to do the messaging. I'm like, hey, I don't want to edit any of this out. So like, there's a certain point where I literally just made you. Right. Yeah. No, actually. Yeah. So there's literally, that was all good. I was like, my subconscious was picking up. It was just saying to me, Lane's got it. Lane's got it. Lane's got it. So anyway, I do love when that happens. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, you're right. He wanted to use his good mic, and so he's like, he's trying. Well, anyway, we'll see if we can get him on here. Let me see if we got. Let's see. Another
casting announcement, I guess. Travis will be portraying Noah Noakes, who is a created character, but he's a leathersmith, a leather worker in Concerning Hobbits. So. I thought only fitting that a man who crafts, these great works of leather, armor, and things like that should voice a character who does the same.
Yeah.
So very excited about that. Yeah. He also voiced Fëanor in an album.
Isn't really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He did. Yep. In like a death metal, and they had a song about Fëanor. He does like reads a poem or something, maybe, or lyrics. I can't remember. I heard it. It's incredible.
Yeah, Travis is a well-connected dude, and so shout out to we've shouted out his shop for years. Weird Meat and Leather, right? I've been out there, and it's fantastic, dude. It is. Steven's asking in the chat, is that the Travis we're talking about? And for sure, Yeah,
what is it like because I've seen pictures and it just like it keeps getting more and more like authentic looking. How did it feel when you were there?
Oh, it's awesome.
Was it like immersive? Because it just seems like immersive to me.
Yeah, it's awesome. It basically, you go downstairs into this basement like thing, and it's just all it's just all open. There's a bunch of like, he's got a lot of different artifacts in there that make it feel really kind of like a tavern, and it's got all the leather works. He's got a side sort of shop where you can go back in and see some artwork. And
cool,
yeah, it's just really, I mean, honestly, he's got a great setup there, and they're just working their butts off. And to see where he's making the mead, I got to go in there and see where all of that was happening. It was that was really cool.
His bats and everything. And I'll do a short little plug because he sent us. So I'm referencing Stanley and Liam and Steve still in there. Are they still on the line?
Yeah. Yep. Looks like it.
Fellas, if you like alcohol and if you like anything sweet, I will say, his mead's incredible. Like, I'd never really had mead before, but oh my God, he sent us 3. We've had bottles in the past, but he sent us probably about a year ago 3 bottles.
Okay.
One was for me. I drank that one. One was for Ez. I also drank that one. And one was for both of us to drink together when we recorded. And I'm thinking about drinking that one now.
Hold on.
It is what?
Are you really going to drink it right now? Because if you're going to, I'm going to at least have something with you while you're doing it. You know.
I mean, if I can get his blessing, I will go in there.
No, have his blessing. Can't you save it? We'll ask him if you can. I think you could save me a glass and put it on the rocks or something. You know, right?
That's true. I mean, I can just cork the bottle. I don't have to drink the whole bottle. But you know,
yeah, you don't. Hey, Lane, you don't have to drink it all. You don't have to drink the whole bottle. Steven's probably sitting here having flashbacks. He's like, all right, we're about to enter like golden perch territory. Jiminy Christmas, like that would be.
Oh God,
that would be radical.
So I think what Travis wants to do really is just kind of hang out. He wants to. He said something about bringing some poetry. I think he wants to read some of his favorite like Tolkien poetry. Really? So I'm looking forward to just hearing how he's doing, sitting back and trying to shut up as much as possible and just hearing the dude. Because it's been a long time since we've caught up.
Yeah.
You know, since we've talked to him like at length. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him. But if you can order his meat online. So if you want to get a taste of it, you can order it and he'll ship. I think he ships to almost everywhere now, I believe anyway. And I mean, the labels are awesome. The different flavors are incredible. Man, do you remember that one he was explaining to us? I don't know if we're allowed to even talk about it yet, but he infuses it with different things like fruits and I mean, there was one that was like strawberries and cream. It was like literally strawberry mead. It was unbelievable. The one that's in there, I can't remember the one that I'm saving, or that's for both of us. I can't remember. But there, he was explaining another one that I can't remember if I'm allowed to talk about it. I mean, my God, I would probably drink a whole vat of it. It just sounds incredible. Has to do with second breakfast. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got like, I think he's got a blackberry mead. He's got all these different flavors, and they're all crafted with care and thoughtfully, and they taste delicious. So it's a great dessert drink as well. Like, you don't have to eat anything with it. I mean, you can, but it's just nice on its own.
It's just nice on its own. It's
great room temperature, I think, too. I don't know if he prefers it like chilled or whatever, but I like it room temperature because
yeah, dude, it was so good.
Like it better than wine.
Lane, he gave Lottie and I like this whole like flat of them, like all these different flight. Thank you, a flat. Yep. There was on a flat board. All right. Ez drinks a lot, doesn't he? So had no.
Well, it's not pop. It's not like
pop. But man, he had all these different flavors, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Like it was. I couldn't believe the different variants in taste and stuff. I was like, "This is really, really good stuff." So that was great.
And it's all got that honey. Yeah, it's all got that honey base, which is incredible because I mean, you think like honey, like it never goes bad. It's really good for you. It's like the only one of the few. It's like nature's sweetener, honey and syrup.
Yeah, I mean it's healing. Essentially, it's healing. You can drink this and heal. I mean, it
actually helps with
no medical advice given. Hey, no medical advice given on this show. Okay, but some people are like, I can't believe you.
As a saying, put vaccines.
Oh my gosh, he's actually trying. Before he calls, I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. I'm gonna pull. Me too, actually. Okay. So everyone on the YouTube's gonna see me just like disappear from the screen, and hopefully Travis doesn't call. If he does, you guys will hear it. Okay. Also, Lane, they can hear you, so I can't mute that. All right.
Okay, I'll mute myself.
All right, we'll be right back. We're taking a 5-minute break. Right. Hopefully, the chat has something funny for me to read when we come back. All right, thanks.
Please God.
Please God. Crazy, man. smokes. Whew. What a freaking night. All right, did Travis call? Did my hear him call? Hold on. All right, back on the headset here. Sorry, I couldn't hear anything. Let me see here. All right, trying to figure out how to use PC. I got it. Boom, boom. Okay, sick. Did he try to call and I missed it?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you're there. All right. Dude,
this is. I mean, I don't want to speak out of pocket here, but this is a handheld, man. I mean, this is just a one. This is
a what?
This is a lane size, baby. This is a Monday night lane size. God, I hope no one reports me to my school district.
For what? For what?
Have a little meet on a Monday night, you know? I don't know.
Oh, who cares? Who cares? I mean, Monday Night Football's going on, right? I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, who's playing?
I don't even know. Anybody got the score for Monday Night Football? You know.
Dude, can I say something? Maybe a hot take.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're playing too many days a week. I think we talked about this last time on Thursday.
Yeah.
They need to just go back to like Saturday. No, not Saturday. Like Sunday and Monday. I really think maybe an occasional Thursday game.
Yeah.
It just lowers everyone's. You know. I think libido is the right word. Is that what I'm? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
Libido.
What we got in the chat here? Hold on.
You get the mead joke there, libido.
No, I didn't until I need things explained, dude. It's, I need the. Hey, did you crack yours open? I've already got a little mango flow going here.
Dude, I'm putting it on the story, baby. You got some mango? Let's go.
You put it on the story. What are we talking about?
I'm putting a poll. Do I drink this without Ez?
Oh, please do. Yeah. Let's see. Quick chat. We have to come up with something funny. Under pressure. Go on. That's hilarious. What if they did a Muppets remake of Lord of the Rings? Jeez.
Oh, that would be incredible.
I mean, would it be better than Rings of Power?
I would watch it more so, I think.
We have an unknown caller coming in here. I'm not sure what this is gonna.
That's got to be Travis, right?
It's got to be, but let's see if I can get him on here. Well, of course. Okay.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but give me 1 second to figure out what's up with this.
Travis, can you hear us, dude? Oh, I don't think you can.
Check. 1.
Check. You can hear him loud.
Checkity, check. We can hear you, but I don't know if you can hear us, dog. Sounds like he's. What time would it be out there? 7 o'clock.
7:17.
7:17. So are they shutting down? What is today? Today's Monday. Did he ever say what the? Because I know they were doing D&D. Did he ever say if they're doing like is the mead hall open on that day?
I wonder. Maybe they're closed on Mondays. A lot of places close on Mondays, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, we can hear you. He's messaging me. It's funny.
Can you hear my songs with playing on the headset?
Good. You can hear me.
Yeah, I heard some of your songs. Yeah.
Oh shit, you heard it right now?
Well, no, I didn't really hear. No, I just heard you. I thought you were humming something.
Oh no, wait. There you. There, I can hear you.
You can hear us? Travis, dude. Travis, let's
a little farther away.
Dude. Hey, welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah,
doing great, brother. This is so Travis, you've entitled this evening. It's can you tell us the title, because I just want to hear it in your voice.
Oh, what was it? An autumn evening in the Shire.
See, look at that, baby. Because Travis he's so thoughtful. He's always thinking like, let's have, because we've been talking about this for like a good 16 months now. I think at this point, it just hasn't. We haven't.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. We haven't had. It just haven't worked out yet, which is fine. That's how life goes. But he was like, I think it was maybe a month ago, and we started talking again, and you were like, dude, let's aim for the week of Bilbo and Frodo's birthday. And I'm like, well, of course, that's this week. This weekend we've got September 22nd coming right up, and it's like, well, of course we should do it now. Thank God, Travis, that some of this, I don't know, what's it like in in the Pacific Northwest right now? Is it? Are you hot out there like it's hot here?
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been like in the 90s for like a solid month now.
Yep, us too. It's super dry.
Yeah.
Are you in a drought as well? Dude,
Yeah.
never in a drought.
I mean,
are you really?
Well, drought is like a loose word, but I mean, we've had rain like once or twice since like maybe May, June.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
And for Oregon, being
right.
Yeah.
That's very droughty. Yeah. So, but tonight, finally, I'm outside by the fire. It's cooled off a little bit. What's it like in the North Farthing? Is there somewhat of a chill in the air?
It's nice and air conditioned. I've got
well, that's artificial, but I like that. That's good.
I do have a window open, and I am sniffing the night breeze as it comes through.
Let's go. I bet you could. Can you guys smell my fire from there? I hope so. But
do you have a fire going? That's awesome.
Yeah, baby, I'm out around it right now.
I have
Travis.
I have one behind me here. Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's the hearth at Weird because I just finished up a Dungeons and Dragons campaign in here with a couple of friends. So
it's awesome.
Okay, so I think people have heard versions of the story of the meat hall before, but we were just talking about it because Ez has been there. I have not been lucky enough to be there yet. And I've yet. That's right. That's the imperative term. But I thought to myself, like, I'm looking back over time, and we've really gotten to see in the amount of time that we've known you, we've seen it like only get more and more and more, atmospheric. God, what is the word I used as before? It was like actually a good word to describe it. Like, oh my God, when you're like dropped to a place, immersive. It's only
immersive,
more and more immersive, and I'm like, dude,
immersive ambiance.
That's my man. And just from afar, I was reflecting on that today because I saw some videos and pictures you posted recently. And I'm like, my God, dude, what you have done there, brother, is unbelievable. So can you give people who don't know the story? Because are we still on live? Are we still on?
Yeah,
YouTube?
We're still live, so we got our callers on here, and we've also got like up on the screen. I pulled up Travis's website with some images and stuff, just to tell people what kind of show them what he's talking about here, because it's a beautiful establishment, and I love it. So,
can you tell people some of the history, like the inspiration, and like where, as long or short as you want to go, the history of the meat hall, and then also of Weird Meat?
Yeah. I didn't know you guys were. You said you're live on YouTube though. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now we got it.
So I'm gonna pull.
Yeah, so that we're on there.
I'm gonna pull it up here, so that way I can
pull it up.
Yeah, you can take a gander.
It's just live then.
Well, it's just me. So like what we do is it's just me.
The handsome one.
Yeah, we want the good looking guy on the show. But no, because the problem we do the Hobbit Hotline is if anybody pops on here with me all live, Lane can't hear them. So like everything runs through the phone. So that's sort of how we do like the live call-in show thing, because we've thought about having people pop on internationally on here, but then Lane would not be able to hear anybody actually on his end. He'd be like, I'd be sitting here talking to our guest, and then he'd be like, what'd you guys say? You know what I mean? He wouldn't have it unless there's a way and somebody knows. But I'm an old tech wizard.
Before I go into that, is this going to be recorded? I mean, I know it's recorded on YouTube.
No,
we're uploading it on
on the pod.
Yes, sir. Stuff?
Yes, sir. We are.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Cool.
Would you expect anything less for you? Would you expect anything less for you, my man?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't know what we were doing. I was like, I'll hang out with you guys tonight. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Ezra, looks like you've got up like the kind of the website on there. We've kind of created an immersive tavern experience for folks. There's even more there you go. A little bit of we've added to that since that picture on the website, so I got to go in there and update it again, because we've got more wine barrels. We've got stuff behind the bar now, which is like more barrels and like gold coins on the barrels, and We've got like ropes hanging from the ceilings, vines kind of taking over now, kind of all over the place. So yeah, it's like this whole like medieval fantasy experience. The main goal is, we do handmade leather goods. We make leather armor. We make coasters, just tankard holders, all the stuff you'd find at like Ren fairs, right?
Yeah.
And we also make mead. So our two main things are handmade leather goods and mead. The goal is for people to kind of come into our tasting hall and try some mead, maybe hopefully leave with a bottle and some leather goods. And then, while you're here, you get a whole immersive experience. And I mean, there's so many people now. It's crazy to me. There's so many people in here that they come in here and tell me in person, or they leave comments or leave reviews and stuff of just how much Weird has changed like their life, or is like a positive influence for them, or has given them like a space to be themselves. And that's kind of the real overall goal of what we've been building since, I've known you guys since we had a tiny little shop over.
Oh yeah,
it was just a little retail shop, making our leather, making our mead, and just you guys were giving us the plugs on there. Go check this out. I gotta make more up coasters. It's been a while.
They were just talking about that in the chat. They were just talking. Stanley was talking about that.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yep. They know Travis. They know him.
Oh, he's a legend.
Yeah,
I
crafted like
in many worlds. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, we couldn't have gotten this far without our community. It's I mean, it's years of dedication and hard work, and I don't ever really sleep. But
Dude, Travis, can I
it really comes. It really. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just because on that point, I don't want to forget to say this. I don't think you know this. Ez and I all the time will sit and we'll be talking about stuff. Either we're thinking about grinding on something, or we're getting after it, and we will literally just we'll say to each other, Travis is the hardest grinder we know of.
Yep.
Like someone 100%. Who just purely, I mean, we talk about like
never quits,
like purely does something out of passion and desire and love for something. So it really, like we talk about you even when you don't know we're talking about you. I mean, it's something that like I honestly, I think it's inspiring, because I think a lot of times I mean, dude, how many like weird halls, or I'm not weird. I mean, well, you're a weird hall, but like how many mead halls are out there? Like not I don't know any in Ohio. Like you'd probably have to search long and hard to find even a place that has mead on their alcohol menu, right? So yeah, so I think to myself, like to find something like that, to be so passionate about it, and out of just like hard work, will, passion, love, to create something. Like I love when people create something from nothing, like literally just from a thought or an imagination or experience or an interest, and like nobody can tell them. And like, because like with you, like your personality and your desire for that is infectious, and it literally becomes its own kind of like advertisement, where like you said, people go, maybe it's on a whim, maybe it's like they're just looking for wild things they've never done before. They find you guys, they have an experience, right, and it's something they never forget. So yeah, keep going. But I just wanted to give you that behind the scenes look.
Appreciate that.
All the time, man. Yeah.
That's really heartwarming. Thank you.
Yeah.
It like I was saying, it really comes down to our community. Like everybody all the time says, like, "Oh, you did this, you did that, you did, you've created this, you've given this," and I'm like, I always kind of stop people. I'm like, we've created this. We've, you got to stay humble and just keep pushing forward. And this is my space, but it's also it's everybody's. It's like I said, it's a place where people can come out on a Wednesday night if you want to dress up like an elf or a pirate, or I've seen full orcs, I've seen witchers, Game of Thrones, it's everything, you know. And you know, people are just having a good time. I've seen multiple people get engaged here. I've seen birthdays, going away parties, 2-year D&D campaigns. I've seen finale D&D games. So there's so many different perspectives and so many different memories that are being created, and it's spider webbing out, right? So it's creating memories for these people too, on top of me. But you know, like my friend's daughter, she's been coming here since he was carrying her, right? She was just a baby, and then now she's I don't know, she's like 4 or 5, probably some like around the age of Lane, your kids, some of them. And she calls this place the Magic. You know, she comes in here. Gosh, she's like, "Oh, I want to go see Travis and go to the Magic," and like she's been calling it that. And she comes in here and she's dressed. One of the last times she dressed herself, and she was a mermaid, right? Oh, wow. And she's going up to these other people at these other tables dressed as elves, and she's like, "You came to the Magic too?" And like, you know, she's just having so cool. You know, so she's gonna have these memories of going here with her mom and dad. You know, I gave her a D20. We were in the shop side, and I gave her a little. You know, she really reminds me of like a little Hobbit, right? Sure. So, like, you know, like Sam's, you know, daughter or something, you know. Yeah. And I gave her a dice, and I was like, okay, like you keep this in your pocket, like don't eat it, don't do anything with it, you know. The dice, we roll it on the table, we play the game. And so she goes through the whole night. She puts it in her pocket. She goes home, and I get a text from her dad, and he's like, "Here's a conversation between me and the daughter, right?" And she goes, Travis gave me an appetizer. And then her dad was like, what? And she was like, he gave me an appetizer. And he was like, you mean the pretzels? Like, because we have like soft pretzels and stuff. Yeah. And she was like, no, he gave me an appetizer, a magic appetizer. And she pulls out the D20. And I was like, oh my God.
Dang.
So it's just memories like that, you know, things like that have created. I was in here a couple months ago with Bobby from
Bobby Ray.
Up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Old friend.
Yep. Yes. He made a trek all the way from Seattle. He was doing a Seattle trip or something. Yeah. And he was like, I know you guys close at 9 or you guys close at 10, but like I'm making the trek down from Seattle, and I've only got these 1 hours, you know. I probably wouldn't be getting there until like 9:45, and I know that's like 15 minutes before you close. Awesome, is that good? Like, are you like can we hang for like 15 minutes? And I was like, I got these magic keys that let me stay here for as long as we want. You know, like if you're making that trek here,
yes,
yeah, like as you know, longtime supporters of the Up community and you know stuff like that. It's you know you make these memories with people, and that's I think what the core importance of our creation and everything. And it very much comes down to like you know the Shire, like Hobbiton, the heart of a Hobbit. So
wow, that's beautiful, man. How cool too. Like I saw that Bobby was out there and came and saw, you know, I just like, man, what a great, I love when I see people that either like we've known in our own personal lives or that we've known through whatever community it is, get together and meet. And it's just such a cool, that was really heartwarming to see that. That was awesome. And I know he loved it. I mean, I saw him raving about what you've created. And so again, it's just something that people see and
Jim.
And they really, I don't know, it makes a huge impact. So I wanted to, because I don't know if I'm sure you've told us this at some point, but it's just lost in the ambled part of my brain, which is 99% of it. How did you get into mead? Like is this something that you had at a Ren fair once, or like did one of your parents drink mead? Like what was the gateway to what I feel like is a very antiquated and very, like, not antiquated in a bad way, just like I feel like it's something that used to be much more widely drank, like especially like in Europe, right, and everything, in England, but something
Right.
that is now of such a specialty. Like how did you get into the world of being a meterist? Is that the right word? That's probably not even a word, is it?
I think the
Is it a meter?
older term is called a methier.
Oh God, that's so.
Which
Oh
is
yeah,
kind
because it
of
would have
funny
been like a
because it sounds like
DH or
meth.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some weird variant of that.
Yeah.
For me, it was, you guys kind of know, like I started doing leather work, and I was doing cosplay, making armor pieces, and I still do that. And then my buddy and we started making mead in the closet because we enjoyed the beverage. It's hard to find, and we would do like these like medieval barbecues, and
So cool.
so we just started creating it. But like I think for me, like mead, I've known about. I mean, probably even in my high school earlier, maybe because of Middle Earth and Tolkien and Beowulf, like all these, like, it basically comes from like the fantasy side of things, for me at least,
Yeah.
It doesn't always, I mean, mead is the world's oldest alcoholic beverage. It predates wine and beer. It was very prominent in Europe, but it also comes from, I mean, anywhere that they had honey, right? So I mean, like in Ethiopia, there's a drink called tej. It's honey wine, kind of. Although us mead makers are trying to get it petitioned to be kind of its own thing, but because it's different than wine, right? The best way to describe it is a honey wine, and sometimes we have to put honey wine on the labels just due to laws and regulations and stuff, depending on your state. But yeah, mead is kind of its own thing, and there are meaderies out there that don't really dive into, the super fantasy side of things, or the Viking Scandinavian side of things. But for me, at the core, it's everything I grew up with. Fantasy, escapism, diving into books, diving into movies and shows and stuff like that. That's kind of where we just kind of took it, and we really started making it out of demand, right? Because it was hard to find mead, and it's hard to find good mead. And so my buddy Taylor and I, we started weird, and we started doing leather, and we started making mead, and that's just. And then I've always been like, okay, well, if we're going to start a business, I want it to be, we're a business, at the core and at the front, but I want it to be a community. I want it to be something much bigger than just a business. And that's how now we literally have people all over the world. We have people in Bulgaria. We have, Europe, Canada, Australia. We call everybody like our warriors of weird, and our warriors of weird is everybody who supports us, and who, whether you're a person sharing us over there, whether you're a regular who comes in here every week, maybe you ordered some T-shirts and you're repping us out there. It's like your uppers, right? It's just our big community, and there's a lot of crossover between the heavy metal community and the Ren Fair community, because I'm in like both of those. So yeah.
So I used no, that's incredible. That's like a great streamlined backstory. That's awesome, dude. I remember when you and Taylor would and you probably still do this, but you guys would kind of like do live streams when you were brewing like a batch of mead. And I just remember thinking it was just so, I mean, just seeing the kind of behind the scenes work, also like seeing just the progress and the upgrades you've made from like, I remember when you got those giant vats, right? In that brewing room when you got those in. Dude, yeah, you got those in, and I remember like you guys getting the floor just right and having to meet code and everything. And I love too how you've been so transparent about like the process of doing something like that. I think because I mean I guess a lot of people do. I don't think a lot of people do it. I mean, maybe I'm not like tuned into it or whatever, but like to see, I mean, I remember you chronicling everything, like got to pass this inspection, got to get this ready. This has to be up to standard before we can open the hall. I'm like, I remember those days very vividly.
Right.
And tuning in and you guys playing music, you guys talking, and just watching you guys make the liquid gold was so cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, how much. So again, it is a small community of creators of mead, I would assume. How much, like, dialogue or collaboration or whatever do you have with other mead makers? Is that something that's a part of your business as well? Do you just like, do you have other certain meaderies that you are in constant contact with or that you're friends with, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the mead community is already so small.
Yeah.
So like even at our hall, like Ez has been here, like there's guest meads on our menu. So like I've brought in, cool. We highlight our stuff obviously, and our bottles, and we only sell bottles of our stuff. But we do glass pours and like flights and stuff. And there's a few other meaderies that I have on, Hierophant being one of them. They're up in Washington. Jeremy and Michelle, they're great people, and they make everybody's mead is different, which is kind of cool, because my mead isn't their mead isn't my mead. So yeah, there's a competition aspect, right? But at the same time, like I've never felt super competitive about that, because I'm just going to do my thing, right? I'm going to make our mead like how our stuff is, and they're going to make their stuff, and people are either going to like it or they're going to dislike it. And what I like to do is, showcase some guest meads, some other small meaderies and stuff. And it really gives people an idea of, everybody's taste buds are different. So if I'm only over here making roughly semi-sweet things and they're only over there making dry stuff, somebody might try mead for the first time and they might try like, the other meaderies stuff that might be super dry, right? So they go in there and they're like, ooh, I don't like mead because of this, right? And we're like, okay, no, you just like, you might not like dry meads. Well, here, try this. This is a semi-sweet, or this is a sweet mead, or this is maybe you only like meads that are drier with teas, or maybe you only like them that are like sweet with fruit. It's a whole palate game, and I like to be able to kind of offer that, especially when we're getting so many people coming in here who have never had mead before. I want them to leave with a good experience. Even if they don't like my mead, I want people to know about the beverage, and I want people to have a good time in here. And if my mead isn't for them, then hopefully we've kind of helped them get an idea of what mead is and how many different varieties are out there. There's a mead out there for you. Like, dude,
you're like
anybody who says that there's no mead, like they don't like mead, is they just haven't had what's for them yet,
So I love that you're like an advocate, or like like a promoter of weed of mead itself. Like you're not just like your focus isn't just having people drink your mead, it's finding the right mead for them. I think that's probably pretty unique as well. I mean, that's incredible thing to know about, if people are planning a trip to go see you, or if they're close by and haven't gone to the weird mead hall yet, you're not just getting Travis's creations. You can sample all kinds of like a whole variety of meads. That's incredible, man.
I've done it myself, and it was awesome. Lottie and I really.
What did you call it? What did you call it?
I called it a flat.
A flat, not a flight.
Flat, whatever it was. I was like, yeah, I drink a lot, but yeah, you got that for us, and I was like, man, yeah, there was different tastes and stuff. It was really cool and really unique, and we had fun just sort of trying different things. And I know we bought a couple bottles of your guys' stuff, and it's just like it was so good. I kind of thought, man, I wish this was like the first. You go back to your like first sip of alcohol when you're growing up, and you're like, I don't know, I wish this would have been my first sip, because it was so much better.
Yeah,
but
it was good. There are meads that I don't start people on to. So like, I just saw some of the comments in here. Oh, Victor Crumb from Harry Potter. That's my buddy Stan. Yeah. You just ordered 3 bottles, Steven. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Love that.
Let's
sorry,
go, baby.
I'm getting like, sorry, I opened up the YouTube thing and I'm like, oh, hey. Like, oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
But so there are some that are like, we just made a banana mead that's aged on oak barrels.
Oh my God, bro! You're speaking my language.
Like, what's this one called? I'll have to send you guys some.
Oh, I would love that. No, let us buy some. Is it on your website yet?
I don't think I have that one up just yet. Okay. We just kind of released it not too long ago in the hall.
Okay.
And it's in small bottles only because sometimes I experiment, right? So like I'm only doing it in like the tiny bottle, just in case it's not that great.
If you send us some, I'll get you some money because I would love to try that. That sounds incredible.
So the banana one, people were like, "What's this one called?" And I was like, "It's called Oh Banana." And they're like, "Oh, banana." I'm like, "Yeah, I played a lot of Donkey Kong 64 growing up as a kid, and whenever you got a banana, it would say, 'Oh, banana.'" Yeah. And so like the shield color changes on all of our bottles.
Yeah.
And so this one we made it like it's a B, right, with the Viking shield. And so the shield part of it, we made it look like a barrel. And then behind the B, instead of DK, it says WM in the red and gold, like Donkey Kong.
That's so cool, man.
We have fun with our labels.
Because I wanted to ask about
that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to ask you. You can roll right into this. I just wanted to know like the inspiration behind each different, like, because you always have great themes with your meads, and then also like how do you come up with ideas? Do you just do research? Do you trial things? Like what's the creative process of like landing on a mead variety?
So usually kind of what I do is I'll take like our semi-sweet traditional, right? It's our flagship flavor. It's just honey. We use local Oregon honey. Which is usually like a blend of wildflower blackberry honey. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll be like, these flavors sound good, right? I'm going to try this. So I'll take our semi-sweet traditional that's already done and it's ready to go. And then I'll just, I don't know, I'll mix mangoes and strawberries or whatever into it, like like the juice or whatever. And then I feel like I can get a kind of an idea of like what a flavor like that would taste like, and then from there, you create the actual flavor.
So you use that one as your base, and you build off that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, to kind. I mean, when I'm coming up right with ideas, so I'm not wasting a lot of mead. It's like it's only a couple of like maybe a bottle's worth, right? And I'll just kind of mix and play around with things. Recently, I took some of our semi-sweet and I aged is a loose word, but like I aged it a little bit on lavender and black tea. I think that was that one.
Gosh, dude.
Yeah, so stuff like that. And right now I'm playing around with chili peppers. So
like a hot mead?
There's a mead. Yeah, like a raspberry habanero kind of thing going on.
Oh God, as we needed that for Hobbit ones.
So
yeah, Lane's you can hear it. Lane's freaking out.
Oh my gosh,
you hit the spot.
What a good idea, man. Well, because that's like the whole hot honey thing. You're playing off hot honey. That's genius.
Yeah.
my God.
When I tell people that there's like never ending, like, well, there's so many different directions you can go with it.
Yeah.
It kind of, I mean, there's so many different things you can do, right? Like we've aged them in whiskey barrels. We did like that oak banana one. I've got a delivery. So we're about to go into fall, right? So speaking of like Hobbit, yes, rhubarb is a great. I was talking about doing a strawberry rhubarb one. So it is fall, and there is a farm out here. It's called Savi Island because it's like on a little island in the middle of like the Columbia or Willamette River, kind of near us. Big. It's big enough. They have like pumpkin patches out there, and during the fall time, they have their pumpkin patch and their haunted corn maze. But the apple orchards out there also, when you go out there for like the corn maze, they have jugs of this. They have jugs of this fresh pressed apple cider. Right?
Oh, come on now.
So what I do is I get the apple cider, and we make what's called a cider. It's a mead made with apple cider, and it's called our Magic Apple. And that was actually one of the flavors that was Billy and Dom's favorite.
That's right.
They really, really loved the Magic Apple and our pomegranate and blackberry, those two flavors.
Can we talk about that? Because that was on the Friendship Onion, right? You were on an episode, weren't you?
Yeah. Billy brought me on, and he's been supporting and following us since like just like you guys, like since like day one, right?
Dude, how cool!
And
if I had to pick one member of the fellowship, and I don't know any of them personally, but if I had to pick one to be like a friend with, it would be Billy Boyd, hands down. Even Viggo Mortensen in the mix. I think it would be too real. I would love to have Billy Boyd's phone number in my phone, like just to go, hey, check out this reel, bro. It's hilarious. Like he'd be the one.
He's such a nice guy. Like he, I mean, like I got what was it on Christmas or New Year? It was just like a message from Billy being like, like I think it was like Happy New Year. It might have been Happy New Year. He's like, Happy New Year, Travis. Like hope everything's going great, and nice. Blah blah blah, like that kind of stuff. He is like, they're so nice, and when they brought me on there for that, I was just like, this is so cool. And I still get people coming in here who are like, oh, we saw you guys on the Friendship Onion, or we heard I heard about you on there. Even today, like there's still every once in a while somebody floating in here being like, oh hey, like I found out about you guys and I'm finally making it here because of the podcast. And I'm like, that's so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that's the cool thing about podcasts too, is like you put these episodes out there and they live out there. Like Ed and I talk about that all the time. Like we'll get messages from people like now who are like, hey, just found your guys' podcast. I'm on episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it. I'm like 8 years behind, but thank you for so that's the cool thing, is like people will continue to find you through, especially something that you got 2 hobbits sitting there talking to you, drinking the mead. That's so cool. Okay, so I did want to ask about one thing. This might be a little bit of a tangent, but there was talking about flavors, talking about inspiration. There was one that you talked about when you sent us a few bottles. I don't know if it's come out. I've sort of fallen off or out of the loop, but there was one you were playing around with that had to do with, and if I need to, if you need to bleep me out. Yeah. Second breakfast. Has this one happened yet? Is this?
So go ahead.
Okay. Has second breakfast happened? Is it going to happen? When is it happening?
Second breakfast. Okay. So my friend Steph, she started a book club kind of thing, Discord, when the Friendship Onion was going out, and she was doing the art for the Friendship Onion every episode, and she did like fan art of me with Billy and them on there. So I've actually commissioned the art for Second Breakfast from her already. it's ready to go. Like everything is good. It's I'm still waiting on. I really need to message Billy and get final confirmation on that. There's just been so much going on this year. But second breakfast is one that we're gonna do, and it's a mead made with maple syrup and apple cider, and maybe some vanilla beans in there.
Because I think, Travis, I think
that
like
is
this
one. It is still gonna come. It's not out yet.
This will be the one mead to rule them all. Like when you first told me about this one, and I remember now the extra like little cherry on top with the art and the artist and everything. But I was like, oh my god, I would drink that if it was in an old milk bottle on the side of the road. I would throw that down my gullet, and I would sing sweet songs to Tom Bombadil, and I'd probably try to, seduce my Goldberry in ways that I can't even explain on this podcast. But that you listen, you say maple syrup, and my ears stand on end, the hair on my feet.
Listen,
and I get a little bit of Randy in me.
You do, but no, Stanley and everybody over on the online wants you to take this same excitement and they want you to apply it to Rings of Power. I think you watching Rings of Power on some weird, some weird mead.
That'd be
the show. That'd be the podcast. That he'd be feeling good.
The way to go.
Yeah, we should try that. We should try that for the finale. For the finale,
Let's do that for the finale. Let's see if Travis can get us a small batch for the finale. No pressure, Travis. I won't drink that. But like, no, that's my favorite. So I think maple syrup. So little, it won't be a secret now, but my secret ingredient for my my chili, that Sarah. I mean, she might just be saying it because she loves me, but she loves my chili. And fall time, we get into soup season. God, it's the best. But my secret ingredient for my steak chili is I put 4 tablespoons of pure maple syrup in there, and my lord, it just does. Maple syrup just it elevates. You take something normal, and it's like putting that Miravir, like that Elven drink they drink. Remember that, Ez? Like the Miravir, the Elvish water. It's just like putting a little secret element in there that. God, so when you explained that mead, I was like, oh, Travis, if somehow I die before this happens, you better find my ashes and just douse it in this mead, because I will know if it's there.
That's awesome.
That's such a cool. That sounds
good.
Yeah, that's the chili.
Yeah, like I would try that. Like that.
Okay, so whenever
I'm always down for like the weird stuff,
Hell yeah, obviously. Whenever we get together, whenever that happens, wherever it happens, I'll find a way to make you some of my steak chili, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. But yes, for sure.
I need to come out to Ohio. But I've wanted to go out there.
Hey, next year.
There's a lot of different people out there.
Yeah.
So
are you guys doing the thing?
We're talking about it.
Yeah, we're thinking about having some of your meat out there too. I was about to ask you if we, I was like, if we do it, like we might. I mean, that would be crazy. I guarantee people would buy it because, like I don't know how we get it here, but I mean, we'll or I mean, I don't know. Like, it would just be cool to have, because we're thinking about doing it. Yeah, we're thinking about having a big LEP event next Hobbit Day next September. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know you guys were doing that before like the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna make it to the next one, and then the next one
never
happened. The pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. No, that would be amazing. I mean, that would be. Yeah, we're trying to think of like who, because I don't know. You wonder, like, as I sit and we talk about it, we've always kind of said like the LEP3, the LEP that never happened. Like, would people still be interested? Would people still come? Who would be able to make it? If we could give people enough time to plan, who could come together? Because there's so many people still that we haven't, people who we know through this thing that we haven't met yet, and that'd be an amazing experience. So yeah, if you get out here, I will make a giant.
I'd come.
If we do LEP3 and you get out here, whatever. But if that's when it happens, I'll have a giant soup pot full of my maple syrup chili, steak chili for you to have.
But we'll have to cook with it too. Cook with the meat. You can use it as a marinade on like meats and stuff.
Oh my god!
And even I used it in soup bases too. So speaking of that, like, but
Oh my God.
so if we do this, we're gonna have to bring some of that meat out and actually like marinate some of these different meats and different ones and stuff like that. And make a feast.
God, we'll have to literally tell people too, like, what we're making here, we can never make again, because it will dishonor what we've created here. To say, like, we're gonna cast these recipes into the fire and only keep them for ourselves. Like, dude, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that. So that is something I love, like a soup or like a meat that's marinated in wine, or even like you throw beer into a chili. Like, there's something about alcohol that, like, when you put it in, like a great mulled wine. I didn't even think about cooking with or marinating with meat. It's what a versatile dish. You know, I always think about like I always think about the Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, and Friar Tuck is like, he's all about his meat, and he don't have my mead. You come in here, my bees, they give me mead, and my mead makes me happy. You know, it's just like, there's something about it that it really does it warms you down to the toes. It's a beautiful drink. So yeah.
There's we make a few different, like, we make blackberry, right? We make aronia berry, which is also known as a chokeberry. We recently made Dream of Dionysus, which is our Muscat Blanc white grape meads. So like think like Moscato grapes. They're used in wine, but we used it in mead. So it's like a mead mixed with grape. So it's kind of like a mix. But those different ones, you mentioned pork belly. And if you've ever gone to like Korean barbecue or something like that, and you get that wine marinated pork belly, I've done that same exact like cut and everything, and I've used a few of our different meads, but used it as, instead of the wine, use that. And then you do, like, on some of them you can do like a little bit of like a brown sugar like glaze coat on top of that. It's so good.
Dang.
As did he just kick you out of ketosis?
Dang, dude, I'm out.
Like, I'm feeling all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
I am ready to go.
Got a rush, dude.
Yeah. So listen, if this happens, we're gonna find a way to make some of these to showcase mead in all of its different forms. That's beautiful. Absolutely.
And all-time mold mead too. We make it hot. It's like a hot mead with like apple cores and orange peel in there, and you serve it hot. Like, it's so good.
Because see, mulled wine is one of my favorite things to have in the fall. Like Halloween time, we've got in the house. Well, Sarah and I will make a pot of mulled wine. You know, you throw the spices in there. Oh, it's fun. So I can't even imagine.
Same thing.
Mulled mead. I would think that would probably be just another level. Okay, dude. So you said it's been a busy year. Talk about, if you want to, talk about stuff that's going on. Like, because we haven't even touched your leathercraft yet and all the things that you do. I mean, like, if people want to go check out Travis's, if they want to go check out your leatherworks, what's the best like account to go? Because I know you have a few different Instagram accounts. What's the?
Yeah, it would probably just be the Weird one, like on the Weird website. Like, from there, it can take you to some of our link trees and stuff. So like weirdleatherandmead.com. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know what we were going to talk about tonight. So
no,
we're
showcasing you.
We could talk about
whatever you want to talk about.
What's your favorite? All poems, leather, Hobbit. We were talking about food, so that's already hitting the Hobbit mark there.
Whatever you want. So just tell people where you can tell them a little bit about the leather, because I want people to, because we have a lot of listeners who, I mean, they probably, obviously, a lot of them, like Steven, you know, newer listener, knows who you are, but like people who might be, maybe they click on this most recent episode, they have no idea the backstory for Travis Sigler, and I want people to be able to check out all the stuff you've done. So
yeah. So I started making leather goods probably 2013, I want to say, about a decade now. The ironic part is the first project I was making Faramir for my cosplay, and I still wear it. I still have that same armor. I've made Eomir's. I've made Eowyn's armor twice. I've made Theoden's armor. The Theoden one was great because it was kind of like it was a long process in secret for a good friend of mine, Jack Blair. Yes. He goes by Trixie Lights Cosplay. I think he recently commented on an Instagram thing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's like they've seen your armor and stuff. And
yes, we've seen Jack. Didn't Jack wasn't he also a snake
Yeah.
or something? I want to say he did cosplay Snake one time.
Okay, so yeah, so if you look at Trixie Light's cosplay he's just now getting into Instagram, but if you go to like the Facebook page, Trixie Light's cosplay, and you look at some of that stuff, he's like, I first met him as Faramir at Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle, and somebody told me there was a Theoden walking around, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to find the Theoden because it's the same one I saw in the newspaper for Portland.
Wow.
There was a Tolkien birthday celebration, right? And I didn't go, and I saw this, and there was no name credit, and I saw this Theoden cosplayer, and I was like, that dude looks just like Theoden. I need to befriend him. I need to know who this is. And then that was, almost a year later. And then I was at Emerald City, and somebody was like, yeah, there's a Theoden walking around here. I don't think he knows about our big group meetup. And then when we found him, we were all up on these steps waiting. We were doing a big group picture. I used to host, when I was going there, I would host a big Middle-earth cosplay group. It's actually how I met Leia, Leah. She's also an upper.
Griffiths?
She does a lot of like awesome art. Yeah. She was just here like last weekend for Rose City Comic Con because she lives not so far away.
So cool.
And she's been putting art in my shop for a long time too. So that's how I met her. So she was part of that big Middle-earth Tolkien group thing too. But so Jack, we were on the steps and we were taking this big group picture, and he was, he comes walking out. We had just started, and he comes walking out of there, and I'm just like, oh my god! And so like I go down the steps. I'm full Faramir, right? Like I've got the armor, the cloak, the wig, like everything. And then I just go up to him, and I'm like, I finally found you. And he was just like, what? And then and that's how we met. And now to me, he's like, he's my uncle. He's part of our cosplay family. He's, we've been going to so many different Comic Cons. I was just wandering around with him at Rose City Comic Con last weekend or the weekend before. And, it's become like a family. And so he cosplays Snape, he cosplays Barbossa, Old Bilbo, Slughorn. He just did President Snow from Hunger Games.
Oh, cool.
He did Walder Frey and Filch because he has both. They're like both the same kind of character.
Yeah.
So if you look at these cosplays that he does, he's like a freaking chameleon. Like his Barbossa is insane. It looks just like
Jeffrey Rush.
I'm spacing it. Jeffrey Rush. Yeah. And he does Gandalf, Theoden, and so we made in secret this Theoden armor for him, like armored Theoden, right? Because he had the cloth version. And so my buddy Keith and I, we worked in secret for probably like 3 months. We kept track of it. I still have a documentary I need to upload about making that suit.
Cool.
And so I have a bunch of different friends who work at Weta Workshop. And so I was talking to Daniel, Warren, like Daniel Falconer, and just all these people, and they were able to get us like I can't share it online. Like, don't share this. So it's Theoden's armor from when they were shooting the Two Towers, and it's like the test press photos. So it's just the armor with like white backdrop. It's like every angle, right? So it's like every different angle, like top down, the greaves, the bracers, the pauldrons, all these different things. And then, so we took all of these images and then we applied it to paper where we were my buddy Keith's an awesome artist, and we were like drawing all of these designs. And then from there, we were transferring them into like the tracing thing for the leather, and then hand tooling and everything into this whole entire armor set. And we did at the old shop, we did a Lord of the Rings trivia night, which was actually a cover up for an armor reveal for Jack. And we played we were like, oh yeah, we got to play this video, and then so we played this video, and it was just all of us in different bits of us making a video of like how we met Jack, what he means to us, like all that kind of stuff. And then it goes into the scene of Theoden riding back and forth, and as soon as they blow the horns, we turned on all the lights and we rolled out this armor for him. And he was just like shocked, like, you know, and it was just like he was like, no. And we made this like throne for him, which still sits over here in weird by the tree beard. I think Ez might have seen that throne.
Yeah. Sick.
But and you got to see the armor. Yeah,
it was awesome.
So and then from, you know, so that was like cosplay leading up to kind of more recently. But I was making tons of armor for friends and stuff. They were having me commission stuff. Some of it has now made it to like the show Vikings, Valhalla, just like different friends on different set pieces. There's a new How to Train Your Dragon show coming out, or a movie coming out, live action, that some of that's going to be on there. But I'm trying to get my stuff more into film things, but it's a hard industry, and it's hard to, with everything else I'm doing too, you know, it's just, I don't get much time to craft as I would like. Just because I'm so exhausted all the time. And then whenever I do have sparks of energy to craft leather works, it's like 2 a.m. when I'm laying in bed. I'm like, God, why? Like, you know,
come on, muse, find me at a better time.
Yeah. And I'm like, I could go on like Mondays when we're closed, because that's, you know, then nobody's gonna bother me, and I can just put on some tunes and just start hamming out bracers and greaves and all sorts of stuff. To answer Steven's question, we did up themed coasters a while ago.
Yes.
I want to say
we gave a bunch away.
Think that's still on the
people on. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it was on the website. If it isn't, it should get that back up there. We had a whole website revamp, so it might have accidentally gotten dropped down. But I still get people, speaking of what you were saying, Lane, about people coming into the podcast, right? Like now from like 8 years ago. And it's the same thing. I'll get people being like, hey, like they'll send like an email or something, and they'll be like, hey, like I just started this podcast, and
the up weird code so good
about these up coasters. I'm like, can I get one? I'm like, oh yeah, like here's this like invoice, and I'll tool it up and ship it or whatever.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so speaking of that, we do still occasionally get that kind of, so it just proves to show that you guys are creating something that is literally going to live on forever. Like it will be around, you know?
Cool. I think it's
something
that same, I think it's
too, like,
dude, for sure. Sometimes I get scared because I think my kids are going to actually listen to this someday. They're going to be terrified. My dad was a madman. Uncle Ez was all right, but geez, my dad was insane. No, I think Ez and I always talk about that too when we've thought about like different we've had, you know, business meetings or whatever, quote unquote business meetings, where we talk about what we want to do like moving forward. What do we want to cover? How often do we want to record? You know, because for a while we were doing, I think we did like 6 months of our big episodes, which some people call bloated, other people call full, of like, you know, 3.5 hours
I like them
weekly. I know, and people like you appreciate them, and those are the people that we're, you know, I mean, those are the people we're talking to mostly, I think. But you know, we've had times where we think like, you know, what's the next move? What do we do next? And we always come back to, we got to stay true to each other. We got to make sure that we're having fun, that comes through, because I think really we've talked to so many people, man.
That's the important part.
Exactly. And it's the same thing that you've done. It's the same thing you're talking about. It's the reason I love passion projects so much. I feel like, I mean, if you look at what Peter Jackson did, I mean, sure, there's a ton of people, and he built an industry, and he put a lot of work in before the Lord of the Rings, but dude was an underdog. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
when people found out Peter Jackson was making Lord of the Rings in New Zealand, people rolled their eyes. You know, it was before fantasy. Fantasy had kind of become like a stereotype and a joke in certain, at least in terms of like a wide acceptance, right? And he was
Right.
someone that most people didn't know unless you were into films. And yeah, I mean, he did something that I love that quote from the appendices, the Costa Botes footage where he and Andrew Lesnie are talking about this is the biggest low budget movie in the world, and Peter Jackson says this is the biggest low budget movie in the Wellington area. It's just like it's just so funny that they literally had this gold on their hands, but they didn't see it. And like even all the actors, I mean, you hear them talk about how they got the role, they treated it with respect. They came in, they bonded, and it's almost like they were. When you go to New Zealand, you feel isolated anyway. I think. Well, I said something like New Zealand is as close as you can get to heaven without dying. It's like
I
this.
agree.
It's this weird. Yeah, like you go out there, man,
back.
right? Yeah, dude, you go out there and you get this. You get this like tangible sense that you are actually in the middle of nowhere. Like, yeah, I've never experienced it anywhere else in the world. I've been a few places, not everywhere, but I've been a few places, and it's the only place I thought like, no, we are actually thousands of miles from anything else. I mean, Australia's close enough, but still, other than that, like we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's the most beautiful, remote place in the world. But yeah. Anyway, just the fact that I totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know what was I rambling about.
Once Sling is going on New Zealand, he's sort of like he's gone. He's sort of like bye. He like gets to know New Zealand.
I get kind of lost. Oh, but I said it was like the closest you can get to like the afterlife without dying, because it has this kind of eerie quality to it it's beautiful, but it almost feels like you've crossed over to another like dimension or plane. Man, I'm sure there's some comments. See what kind of comments you live in. Stanley, I'm staying positive. But
staying positive. Hey,
if go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just as a disclaimer, before I run out of tape, the SD card has 18 minutes. Just so you guys know.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm not even kidding you.
Oh
we're at 3 hours and 45 minutes. We've been on here. So
holy crap. Okay, so so I'm gonna start. I'm done talking.
No, just letting you guys know, because it'll the SD card's about to run out. So, but yeah, no, Travis, pick up your thigh. You just want to give you guys a timeline here. Sorry. So
yeah, no, it's I agree about New Zealand. It's definitely a place that I draw a lot of inspiration to, and I think back to a lot as well. If I wasn't so tied up here, I would have probably moved there a long time ago.
So can we talk a little bit about, because I think talking about how hard it is to get your stuff like into cinema, into TV. I can totally imagine. I'm sure that it's especially as like an artist who does something out of like love and attention to detail and everything, it's probably even harder. But I remember when Rings of Power was kind of forming their team, and I will honestly say, man, I think that there have been a lot of people who've criticized like the way stuff has looked, and I think if I mean, they should have given you the job, bro. They should have given you a gig so that we could have had some Travis Sigler stuff in Rings of Power.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about
you
that
remember
process?
me trying to contact for years, right?
Yes, I do. I remember, and again, like that tenacity and grit that you have of just like, no, man, I know my quality, and I know what I do is good, and you might have a bunch of people trying to get your attention, but you should pay attention to me. And again, I think it's the reason you've been successful in what you've done, and it's not without sweat, blood, and tears and all that, but it's I think it's only greater because of that effort. But yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about the show at all, or maybe you could even just talk about like how much work you have to put into like you said, like building contact with people who put stuff that you create like on the screen.
Mm-hmm. hey, there's Jack. Sorry, I'm looking at Ez's like scroll. That was his Snape with his and there's my buddy Zach who just left about an hour ago. He was that weird. Surprise visit for this weekend. So anyway,
Dude,
sorry,
how fun, man.
Yeah, the Jon Snow cosplayer there.
Yeah.
So cool.
So you were scrolling over. Sorry, Lane. What was your question? One more time.
No, I was just talking about that Rings of Power. When you were working really hard to try and get there, did you ever hear back from them? Like, what was we never really kind of heard any kind of resolution on that.
I still haven't heard. I never heard anything back.
Isn't that crazy,
unfortunately, it was. I know a lot of people. Like for a second there, Ez was highlighting. I think I saw a picture of Stan sitting at the bar here. He was here like a month or two ago. For anybody listening, he plays Victor Crumb in Harry Potter.
Oh wow.
He's he and I have been like texting like almost daily and giving each other like motivation boosts, and he's planning on coming back here soon. But I recently hit the gym, so I've been going to the gym 5 days a week.
Let's go.
I just
we've noticed.
7.
We've seen, baby. We've seen that.
Yeah, so I started week 7, but so Stan gave me his whole entire breakdown of his workouts and stuff like that, and his food, and like I'm following it as like close to a T as I can, and I tell you, when I say it's brutal.
Yeah.
But I'm pushing forward. I'm still going. But so Stan is like, constantly giving the up boost. Like he's calling me out on his Instagram. He's like, day 3, let's go. Like that kind of stuff. And
that's awesome.
Gym buddies. You need a gym partner for sure. Like even if they're not lifting with you or whatever, that's what that is. Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep, accountability. And I've had a few different friends of mine actually recently being like, I've been seeing your gym posts and it's like super motivational. I'm getting back into it and stuff. I'm like, I'm honestly just getting into it too, but I'm glad that it's giving you a boost,
Yeah.
So I think what it comes down to, especially like going back to like the Rings of Power thing and like still following, you talk to a lot of people, you got to know people in the industry. And like, I'm always kind of the belief that like, it'll eventually work out,
Yeah.
I look back to all these stories, like you were talking about with Peter being the underdog and like, and you got to put it in perspective of like, when we first started this idea for Weird, for example, look at where we are now. Look at what's on the horizon. You hear all these different artists and stuff who are like 20, 30 actors, like all that kind of stuff, and they're in this, given, or if you're reading the memoirs of their life and stuff, and you're like, wow, they eventually, like after like 20 years, they eventually got to where they are, or 10 years, or whatever it is. So for me, that has always been I'm always thinking end game, and eventually it will all work out and get there, I'm the kind of person to where I'm always like, what's next, right? So we're here now. We've got this immersive tavern. We've got the mead. We've got an amazing community, amazing audience, like reach and everything like that. And basically, it's now I'm like, okay, I want property. I want land. I want to create an immersive outside experience for people. I want a Hobbit hole Airbnb. I want people to come stay at this Hobbit hole, visit another, like maybe another mead hall spot.
Is that how you're trying to get me out there? Is that the long
Yeah.
game? You're trying to get Lane Smith out there?
Well, if you come and stay at like a Hobbit hole Airbnb, and then you get a tour of like a meadery warehouse, and you can walk through the woods and like Hobbiton. Like I want to create that. I'm going immersive experience, and I want people. They can maybe still come to this actual physical location too, but like, I want to have apiaries. I want to have bees. There's all these different things, and for me, that's always the next thing, right? And we'll get there. Like it's just a matter of time, right?
Right.
And my leather work will get there, but you just got to stay true to your core, like you were saying a minute ago with your guys' podcast. Like, you want to make, you want to keep following your passion, keep following those dreams, and stay true to it. And if you got to stay, what were you saying? Make sure you're having fun.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the core element of it.
Yep.
But yeah.
Dude, you guys, the uppers over here on just online, just they could sit and listen to this all night. Like when I gave it's like we're going on 4 hours, and they were like, dude, like push it to 5, Ez, push it to 5. And I'm
I
like,
see the comments.
It's so crazy because we Travis, we had you on at the end. We had a bunch of callers. We started early, because for us it's like almost midnight. But it's funny because I looked over here, and normally, Lane and I do 2-3 hour episodes sometimes. I looked at the SD card and I was like, no way we're gonna hit. I'm like, I looked at the time, I was like, we'll be fine, and I thought I thought I had 4 hours on it, and I just looked at it, and it was like, it's like, and so everyone's on here, they're like, what's the countdown? As if you check the time,
What's the count? Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do.
Because I want to have Travis back on for like on the video, like we get on like Lane, where you're at home, and we do like a whole, because this is a different kind of format for us. But we have him on here, and we could do maybe even some actual thoughts on Rings of Power next time or something, or have him on for our review or something on a Thursday night. I don't know. I know you're busy on Thursdays, but yeah, something.
No, let's get something else. We'll do this again this fall because this has been amazing. I'd love to keep talking, and I need a few more minutes to get not a few minutes, like days to get because I've almost got it narrowed down, but I've got a poem I want to read too. That's like a Tolkien poem that
guys,
I think that would be really cool. I think it'd be awesome, an awesome
Travis
format for us to.
Yeah, would you be down to do like a basically like we call it like a moment in Middle Earth? We could also pair that kind of.
That would be awesome.
Like we all bring a moment or a poem or something Tolkien, and it's just really like that we could do that on. We could actually do that on StreamYard.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about tonight too. So I have some of my. I have some favorite poems. I have some Tolkien poetry and like that kind of stuff already prepared and ready to go. So
okay, sick. So that would be great because we could do a full episode on that. Then we could actually just because this is going to be at the end of probably a 3 hour and 45-minute episode. This is going to be at the end.
How much time is left on the card? Could we do like one? Could we do one of the poems now and lead into the next time?
Yeah, if you guys want to. We got about 6, just over 7 minutes. I'm trying to give us a 1 minute buffer so we don't run out. But yeah, we got about 6-7 minutes. Yeah. If you guys want,
what do you got, Lane?
I don't have a poem ready. What do you have? Can you share one? Would you share one?
Yep, I already got it going.
Man.
Okay,
let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. I sit beside the fire and think of all that I've seen of meadow flowers and butterflies in summers that have been, of yellow leaves and gossamer in autumns that were, with morning mist and silver sun and wind upon my hair. I sit beside the fire and think of how the world will be when winter comes without a spring that I shall never see. For still there are so many things that I have never seen. In every wood, in every spring, there is a different green. I sit beside the fire and think of people long ago and people who will see a world that I shall never know. But all the while I sit and think of times there were before, I listen for returning feet and voices at the door. There you go.
Dang,
wow,
dude.
Beautiful. As I'm sitting around a fire, I think, dude, how often do you sit by a fire?
Song, so.
Yeah. And how often do you sit by a fire like Bilbo and your mind wanders to the things that you wonder about that you'll never? I think about that all the time, dude. I think about that
all the time for me.
Yep. God, about like the echoes that go on before us and beyond us, and Oh, dude, that's unreal, man. I love too, because sometimes when those songs and poems hit in the story, like you kind of like, especially when we're covering a chapter or something, we kind of like not gloss over them, but we're like, okay, yeah, they almost deserve. I think that's a great idea to give it its own episode to like sit and think about the words in those poems and songs, because they're their own stories in their own right. Like he literally, the layers that he gave us, the relatability he plops in there it's just unlike anything else, man. It's biblical. It's biblical.
Yeah, it makes you like, we often one of the reasons we started sort of our moments in Middle Earth or our night breeze kind of segments is because it's that idea of just being, up late, sitting by a fire, thinking, being out in nature. And so this actually kind of strikes a chord in terms of like being like perfectly relatable to that, what we've been feeling, after we did the reread, we've been covering the show and different things, when Lane and I come back, it's this like moment. It actually feels like that when you just read that, it felt like, either you're at your like the mead hall or afterwards, and you're out somewhere with some friends, you're sitting around the fire, or you alone are sitting there, right? This is, I sit beside the fire and think, and thinking about, time beyond yourself and everything. It's like, it's trippy, and it's really, I don't know, it makes you go inward a little bit, and I almost could see myself sitting out there. So I would again love to do a full kind of standalone thing where we sit down and we just start the whole show off with something like this. And I think it's been a hit. I mean, every time we've done some moment in Middle Earth or whatever, people are like, this is like it's sparking the old fire again. And it's getting you back into Middle Earth. It's getting you kind of just those feels. And as you read it, Travis, and you read it beautifully, I was sort of like, wow, I got chills. And I'm like, that's kind of, yeah, we all got to bring our own thing.
Yeah.
And sort of like all three of us are sitting by a fire. That would be sick. Because Travis, we just wanted to kind of catch it. It's been so long, we wanted to catch up and just get you on here, at least to start talking. And,
I'm sorry I hijacked everything.
Oh no, it's great. I did.
I was going to ask so many questions either. I think to myself too, I don't know that we've ever had an episode where we sat down, and I think when we recorded before, we were talking about, God, I can't even remember what it was. It's been like years, hasn't it? We were talking about a chapter or something. It was like a content focused thing, and I was like, we need a moment to
get to know Travis,
because we admire you so much, and
so many people ask us questions about the mead hall, and we get a lot of like, people, is that still a thing? And you just saw Bobby out there, for crying out loud, like, so. Yeah. There's so many I think cool connections to your hall and what you're doing in your community, and then all the other connections that you have. It's just like this for me. I was going to ask Lane afterwards, I might even just pull out this track, because to post 3 hours and 45 minutes, it's like, I might actually just pull this out as a standalone thing and do like a separate outro once I get the memory card straightened out. Do like an outro for our Hobbit hotline, and then just do maybe like a little intro and fade into our talking and fade back out, because I want people to know, Travis and what he's been doing. I don't want to bury it at the end of an episode. I kind of was, planning on
feature.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, I think that would be probably a little bit better. And then we can kind of get back, and the moment Middle Earth, man, having, Travis there for that, and just laying down just getting immersed again in Tolkien every time. It just gets me fired up, man. It just gets the feels going. So,
and I'm excited about the Red Book too, Lane.
And I'm
the radio drama.
I'm pumped, man, and I'm so glad you're gonna play a role. And the other thing too is there's more, if you enjoy it, because I know that you've done this before. You've done voice acting before. You played Fëanor, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It was just a small thing for my friend's album.
Thing. Okay, well, I remember listening to the recording and thinking like, holy shit! I didn't know Travis could do that as well. But like, I mean, the cool thing about the radio drama,
he can do everything, dude. This guy can do everything.
Dude, he can. I was just gonna say, like, the radio drama is gonna have. I mean, I was talking about it before we got on. Actually, when we were talking to Aaron, because Aaron was the first one who, before we even announced it was a radio drama, because I kind of like put the scripts on of talking Tolkien and stuff, and teased that we were kind of working on it. I mean, it started as like just an overarching thing a couple years ago, right? A couple years ago with the whole like season outlines, and slowly turned into this. And then before we announced that it was going to be a radio drama, Aaron emailed us and was like, "Hey, I don't know what you guys are working on, but I would like to be a part of it. how do I go about that? And so anyway, all that to say, there's going to be like a call for auditions, and the more people that have been a part of like the podcast and the people we've gotten to know and stuff that can bring these characters to life, for me, the better, because it's, there's hidden talent all over the place. There's just because you're not a professional at something doesn't mean that you aren't gifted at something, right? And I just think to myself, so anyway, Noah's a start. I think I would love to have you play another role if you wanted, because I'm planning for like 3 seasons of this as well. So no, I'm glad you're excited too. I'm amped. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, Ez knows, because I was talking to Ezra when I was thinking about even writing scripts, and he's like, bro, he said, don't stem it. He said, just go. Yeah. He said,
keep it
go,
rolling, baby.
go. And then I was like, man, I kind of want to, because Matthew Johnson, longtime listener too, he was like, so when's the radio drama coming? And to that point, I was like, what the? And then I was like, no, okay, why not? Let's write some scripts. Let's actually beat it out and see what can happen. And then I had to start asking people. Yeah. I was like, God, hi, this is Lane. Would you like to bring this character to life? And would you like to work on music? And would you like to? Is there any way you'd want to contribute art to this? Like, I had to ask all these people, and every single person, to their credit, not to mine, to their credit, said, yeah, this is an adventure I want to go on. And so to me, this is like my own little, selfishly, this is like my own little way of creating for us like a simulation of what I imagine it would have been to like be a part of that team, in our own way. Like, because I think, like, of course we would make a radio drama. Like, we're a podcast. That makes sense. We're not going to make a movie. We're not going to make we're not going to write a book. It's going to be something that you can listen to. And like, everyone who I've talked to has been excited, and they enjoy it enough. And I can't believe the compliments I've gotten. I can't believe the response and like the excitement to it. I was really nervous about that at first, but it's amazing. And I believe in it, and to see other people believe in it and be excited to do. I mean, you got like Mike Charles like sending me accents he's working on and the voice for Van Galpsy. You got Matthew Johnson, who's like he wanted to connect with Fastrid, so he's written like a backstory, like for him to work backwards and to know like where Fastrid came from, how he met Eleanor, like why they fell in love. Macy, who's playing Eleanor, she asked me early on, she's like, what is there any kind of music? She's like, I connect with music. Is there any kind of music that you were listening to when you were thinking of Eleanor or writing Eleanor? So I created like a playlist for her to listen to. Rebecca Rodney, the violinist, right? Who she was like, I was having trouble. Yep. Yeah. She was like, I was having trouble at first, and then I thought like I need to find Arwen through my violin, through my form of art. And she played Aniron and like connected with Arwen that way and found the character. So it's crazy. Like, that's the kind of stuff I hoped would happen, and it's been unreal. It's just been unbelievable. So yeah, I'm glad you're excited, man. I'm glad that you're on board, and I think that character is perfect for you. I literally sat and I was starting to think about like some of these characters who I would ask to play. And I'm like, the dude who's making a leather like breastplate jerkin, it's got to be Travis. It's got to be Travis. Like, it would be criminal to ask anyone else to play that role. So I'm very excited, dude. Yeah.
How are we doing now?
We're doing good. Full disclosure. So people notice something. They're like, Ez said 6 minutes ago, right? And someone said that. So Liam said 500 IQ move. As like, I basically said, I told the guys less time because I knew for a fact that we would get to that. I knew for a fact that would happen. And I was like, I know. If you go back, I think Lane, and I love Lane, and you guys, it's just cool. It's a new connection between he and Travis, and so technically we still have like another like 8 to 10 minutes, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
So we're still good, but I knew it.
So
I was
15?
like, what's that? So we have 15. Yeah. So we have 15. Yeah. But no, it's again my bad. Normally I have hours. Normally I have a 128 gig SD card, and I'm like,
this has never happened
ever. This has never, ever happened, Travis. It's never, ever been that we've ever ran out of memory space on the SD card. And we're not out, but it's just like, it's funny to me because this is what we do. You know, we just, we get, I don't know, you get a little beer in the throat, you get a little meat in the throat, and you just start, you know, rolling, talking to your friends. It's great. And I knew Lane, like, it's passionate fans, people who are like, you know, friends, and there's all this history, and like, we don't get a chance to really sit down and connect. Stanley's over here, like, keep going to the very last second, as give us that countdown. Stanley is wanting us to take it to the very end, which I'm afraid that it would corrupt the file.
Right into the fires.
The file would be corrupted.
I'm afraid the file would be corrupted, and I'd lose 3 hours and 55 minutes now. Like, I'd be like, oh my God, you know. But anyways, no, that's why we're gonna do a standalone thing, and we're gonna have Travis back on for sure, because this is a conversation that needs to keep going, and like, it's, you know, one thing I want to get back out there. I would love to have Travis out to Ohio. I would love for us to get out there at some point and go back. Like, Lottie and I had such a good time. We had Matt's wedding the same time I was out there with Travis. Otherwise, there was like a couple nights where we were like, should we just go back and see Travis? Because Lottie had such, you know, weddings have pressure sometimes. There's all this like things you have to do. And even Matt was sort of like, you know, he didn't really like the pressure of his own wedding. He was sort of like, I wish we didn't, you know, wish we could just do it, you know, this way or whatever. So we're sitting there one night. I'm sort of like, man, let's just go back over to see Travis. Then I felt like, you know, we're here for this wedding. So, you know, and Matt would have been like, go, dude, go have a great time. But,
he probably would come with you.
He probably wanted to come,
you guys,
you know? Yeah.
You guys are always welcome out here. If you guys ever did like fly out here or whatever, why not? We could literally, even while everything's closed up, we could sit beside the fire. You guys could record a podcast episode. We could do whatever.
Man,
you know?
Let's freaking do it like that, Lane.
Come on.
We might need a getaway, dude. You know, like a little.
I think we might
just hop out there on a long weekend or something.
A quick little trip, you know.
Take a day off of work, maybe. You know, cash that personal day in. I know it's real tempting.
Come on.
And now we are officially at 4 minutes, just so you guys know.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. If we don't lose anything, and we'll do this again very soon. We won't let like another 16 months, 2 years, whatever, go by. We'll do it in the next few weeks or months or whatever, like a month at the most.
Yeah, October. Sure. I'm thinking if
we put it on for a month, like just get it on the calendars, you know, and I'm totally down. Like, we can have more poetry chats, we could read poems, we could do fireside tales, whatever you guys are talking and thinking about.
Yeah, we need to do this because this just got buried. I didn't even ask you about Sasquatch. I absolutely need to ask you about
God.
Bigfoot. 100%.
Sasquatch?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Because it's Oregon. Yeah. He's around.
Right.
He's around.
And I'm sure, I want to know if you've had any encounters. So don't tease me with anything yet. Just I want to imagine in my mind you've had an encounter, and I want to know because.
Yeah, Travis knows the guy. He knows the guy.
Do I believe? Yeah, I believe. I do. I believe my favorite podcast of all time it's called Sasquatch Chronicles, and it's from a guy, Wes Germer, who's out there he's either in Seattle or Oregon. I can't remember. What is it? I can't remember I almost said Washington, Seattle. What a dumbass. It's something. It's like I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I want your thoughts on Sasquatch as well, because it's kind of, it's mythical. It's a little Tolkienian, a wild beast out there.
Fumble.
Some meat just broke. Uh-oh.
No.
Come on now.
No. You guys are not, dude.
Haunted?
A cup just fell off the freaking counter in front of me.
As Lane's talking about Sasquatch, haunted, come on.
Like I legit, there's a whole entire haunted article. I didn't mean to cut you off, Lane.
No.
That's freaking weird. Like, it just literally felt. I'm sitting at a table and the bar is over there, and I just watched the cup just fall.
Oh my God, I got chills, bro. I just got chills. Oh yeah, okay.
The ghosty is super friendly. There's a whole haunted article. I'll send it to you guys.
1 minute 45 seconds.
I didn't mean to cut you off. It just startled the hell out of me.
No, dude. That's I think maybe that's Sasquatch reaching out to us. Teleportation. We're gonna talk. We're gonna read poems, and then we're getting to weird stories because Ez has some crazy He's got some UAP stuff. He's got some Bigfoot stuff. We'll get into the old annals of weird. I've got the old hag sat on my chest once. It was a sleep paralysis thing. It was I thought I was gonna die. So we'll get into that. We'll we'll do some. Dude, let's schedule around like a Halloween time.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it in October. Let's do it in October when we're feeling spooky.
Yep.
Okay.
1 minute, 6 seconds, boys. 1 minute, 6 seconds.
Okay. Wrap it up, Ez. Take us home, baby.
Hey, Travis, thanks so much. And, we got the links down in the description for you. We're gonna have you back and everything. We've already got people who have ordered mead live on the show while we were doing this. So that's pretty sick. Thanks to
you guys.
Steven and everybody out there who was checking it out. But yeah, we'll be back. We're at 44 seconds. I mean, this is gonna go down in lore as one of the like countdown to the end of the SD card episodes. I've never, ever done this before. So at 30 seconds, I'm going to hit the end here. You guys can stay on the phone with me for a second. I just got to hit
30 seconds.
30 seconds. I got to hit the record button.
This is when, let this be the hour when we draw swords together. We're going to ride right into Mordor, you guys.
Oh my God. We're at 20. We're at 21. Okay. I'm clicking
into the fire.
I'm clicking record. Love you. I love you guys. And you guys stay on here. Oh my Lord. Okay. Yeah. And remember that Travis he lives out in Oregon and he works at a meat shop and it's great. Okay. Oh my God.
Dude, that's wild.
There goes my time. There goes my timer. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Yeah,
I heard.
Hold on. Everyone was like looking at me, watching me on YouTube, and Stanley's there. They're like, T-minus 1 minute. You know, Ez is getting
1 minute.
Ez is getting nervous. You know, and like I started at one point, I was like, okay, give him a buffer. You know, give him about like a 15-minute buffer because I know how this goes or whatever. And then I was like, and then we got going. I was like, oh, actually, I was like, shite. We actually are like pressing up on that last couple 30 seconds. Anyway, we got it. We got it in the can, which is the most important part. We got the episode in the can. So freaking great. Anyways, that was fun. That was like, honestly, even though I was nervous at the end, I was sort of like, you guys were just chatting it up, and it's just so good to hear from Travis and stuff. So I was like, man, we're still live on YouTube, but like the SD card was the thing. It's got the high quality audio on it, and so I was like, shoot, you know. Anyway, man,
no, this was so much fun. It was so good to like actually hear from you guys. I know it was like we get super caught up in TV, and I'm 100% down. Like, let's do a
we're gonna do it.
Fireside poetry kind of thing. I'll spend a little bit more time digging into the books and stuff too, and finding some of my other favorites.
Yeah, what's
or whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, what day's really best? Man. We're gonna do a little, everyone can hear us kind of chat over here on the YouTube. What's like is Monday's pretty good? That's typically the best day, Travis?
Mondays, I'm like generally free. Like I have Sundays off. Okay. Sundays and Mondays off, and then Tuesdays are kind of hit and miss depending on what's going on in like the warehouse, right? So like tomorrow morning we're bottling pear.
Okay.
So then in like the evenings I can be free, you know, but it's just really it's Wednesday through Saturday is hard for me because I have to work the hall like until like 11 p.m. right? So it's like those are my harder days, but everything else is kind of like easy. Like I can do Sunday midday, I can do Sunday afternoon, evening, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know what's good for you.
Yeah,
we'll make whatever work, man.
I'm thinking Sunday or Monday.
Those times work.
That seems like it's probably best. And I think in October, I'll have to check maybe like that 20. You know, like we're thinking like the week leading in, probably like a week before Halloween or something, like the 20th or 21st or
right
somewhere
after the
around
show's
there.
Over and everything too. That'll be a great.
Yeah, because
that'll be a great like jump back into Moments in Middle Earth. Honestly,
right, it would lead us back in because I think October 5th is the show's finale, right, or October 3rd or something like that.
Something like
that. Are you guys doing anything on the 14th?
14th? No, I think our Hobbit Hotline was going to be on the week prior to that. So like we were going to do like maybe a Hobbit Hotline on that said the 7th or something, but nothing on the. I got nothing on here. So
me neither.
That's Columbus Day.
I don't either.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what it's like because like you guys have school and stuff. Don't you usually do you get that off as like a?
I think my school we actually get that actually be fine for me because we have the end of that week off actually, so it's a short week. So for my school,
and I'll make whatever work. It doesn't matter. I don't care if if I got school the next day or not. It doesn't matter to me. The 14th, if that works for you, bro. We'll
14th looks like let's tentatively put that down. Like, I mean, if you could put like 7, did you say 7 o'clock your time? Was that kind of where you were at? Or could you do earlier?
Yeah. So the reason why I asked about the 14th is because the 21st D&D just wrapped up earlier before you guys.
Yeah.
And we've just put our next D&D session on 21.
Yeah.
So if I don't put it on the same day, then theoretically I can start earlier for you guys.
Yeah.
Or there won't be any time restrictions or anything.
Sure.
Cool.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then the 7th I'll be the 4th through the 9th I'll be in Hawaii. So.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh my god,
dude. Yeah, let's do the 14th. Let's put that down, dude.
And then we can hear about Hawaii too.
Yeah, we hear about Hawaii. We can catch up on Moments of Middle Earth, share some poems.
Dang, man.
That would be a great way to lead us back into our series of Moments of Middle Earth, because that's kind of.
I'm going out there to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, that was all. Yeah, that was it. Just it's a great. That like the 14th is great. You're going out there for what?
Oh, I was saying I'm going out there to visit a friend who I went to yearbook class with in high school, but then also I am gonna go to, we're gonna go on some hikes, like some big nature. She lives on Kauai, and like there's some big, almost like epic kind of hikes, kind of like New Zealand, And then also we're gonna go out to some a meadery out there, and a few apiaries, so like beehives, and like they might I'm gonna email and see if I can, if they'll take us out and play with their hives and stuff like that, and learn about the native Hawaiian honey and stuff like that, because I'm interested to get some Hawaiian honey to make a mead with it. So
my gosh, let's go, man.
That's cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, we would. That'd be a great way to. We could lead off with your Hawaii trip recap. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Heck yeah, brother. This has been a blast, man. Thank you, dude, for being available and again for like being okay with me asking a bunch of questions. I was like, I think people just need to, they need to hear your story in a way that I don't think we've ever shared before.
Feature
so
we need to feature it, because it's we've
absolutely.
It's like we've always advertised for it and talked about it on the side, and then had John for like content. But Lane's right. This was a good feature, and I think it was I think it was important to do, and then we can get into some more content again. So.
Yeah, and I can share it on all of our socials and stuff. I'm already planning on putting your. I'm going to print off a flyer for the Red Book of West March radio drama, and hang it up on our like quest board and stuff, because like I've already had people like even comment and being like, I'm going to listen, like on my Facebook posts and stuff like that.
Great,
so
man.
with
Thank
our
you,
community
dude.
in here and all that kind of stuff, we can definitely pull some listeners and stuff like that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. That's dude. I love the old school feel of a radio drama, and because to me, I'm thinking like that's Tolkien would have listened to radio dramas, like he would have listened to the radio. You know what I mean? That was maybe a technology he would have been okay with, like putting flyers up like that is so cool. That's just like as comedy as it gets, man.
I'll probably print it on the cover that says the Red Book, and it has that really cool watercolor art.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And I'll probably print it on some like parchment paper. Oh, dude, that'd be
amazing. Oh, that's so cool.
Print it on parchment paper, and then I might make small ones, and then just throw them on like every single table, like
dude,
during the tavern nights, So
that's beautiful.
Folks coming through it.
Heck yeah, brother! Thank you, man. Oh, it's so
cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Like, plus if there's anything cross content, like I can be like, I'm gonna be a Hobbit on this, and people will be like, that's cool. I'm gonna go
dude. That's right, man. So, that's right. That's definitely a feature for sure.
Yeah. And on the next when we do the next whatever you want to call it, Fireside Tales or Autumn in the Shire kind of thing. Like I would love to hear about like all of like what's up with you guys too.
Heck yeah, man.
All the new stuff that's been going on.
Actually, Matthew brought that up. He's like, dude, I haven't heard you guys talk about just like personal stuff in so long. We mostly haven't because a lot of people. Sometimes we get people. They'll send us messages and be like, "These guys think their personal lives are as important as Tolkien." And it's like, well, no, we built friendships with people, and it's the easiest way to update people on what's exactly. Every once in a while, it kind of gets in your head and like, well, maybe we're talking too much about our own personal lives, but we're due for that for sure.
No. Because when I first started listening to you guys on Unexpected Podcast, like in the early days before like I even really talked to you or messaged you or anything like that, the reason why I kept listening is because I was like, wow, these are, I'm loving the Lord of the Rings content, and I'm loving the the chapter by chapter analysis and stuff. But as I'm sitting here working, I worked 10-hour days at Dark Horse, and I would be like, this is really cool. Like I'm getting insight on who these people are, the down to earthness, the Hobbit, like I keep saying, the Hobbit core of things. And to me, that's always been really, really interesting, and that's why I read like autobiographies and biographies by people, because I like to know. I was just talking to Christian Nairn, who plays Hodor. He signed our World of Warcraft banner last weekend, and he's got a new book coming out, and it's about his time on Game of Thrones and like his life after Thrones, the health issues he had with like his like carrying Bran around. I've read Ralph Macchio's book, who played the Karate Kid. I've read Tom Felton's book. I love hearing about, I don't know why, I love hearing about other people's lives and just all the different things, the different what makes you, and everybody is a person. It's I don't what's the word, angelify?
Sure.
I think that's a word. I don't put people up on the super praise pedestal. Like everybody is a human, and everybody's got a tale, and I love hearing tales because it's just like in here, the tavern vibe. It's like, oh, what's your tale? Like, what brings you in here?
What brings you in
that
here,
kind of that kind of stuff. And I think that really comes down to it. Why people are drawn to weird and the heart and the community aspect of things, because we care about our people.
Since you love it, we're gonna bring it back. We'll next time we chat, we'll work that in, because we definitely have updates, man. It's gonna be
too long. It'll be another 4-hour episode. It'll be another
Dude, thank you, man. This was a blast, brother, and love you, man, and can't thank you enough for. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about how long we've known each other, how long we've been friends, and in my case, I've never even met you. It's I think that's such a beautiful.
It doesn't even feel like that. That's the thing, though. With Travis, it's just it feels.
It doesn't. It really doesn't feel like that, because
not at all.
I've heard. I mean, I've met as in person, and I've talked to you guys multiple times, and we've Facebook and like all that kind of stuff. But like Lane, your voice is so familiar to me because of all the podcast episodes, So it's like it doesn't even faze me anymore,
It's wild,
like it's not.
Well, and Travis, same with you though.
So
like
crazy.
Your transparency with like what you do, like Lane was talking about earlier.
For sure.
Like everyone, it feels everyone knows you and what you stand for, and your brand, and your sort of what your hard work, and like we really mean it when we talk about grinding and getting after it, and like you're talking about you and Stan kind of having a back and forth and pumping each other up. Like I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, dude, Travis is an animal. He's a freaking animal. He just grinds, and it's like, and I got to see you in that element. So yeah, one of these days we're gonna get out there again, and that's gonna be we'll bring the podcast equipment and we will just set up shop. That'd be sick.
God, that sounds
That'd
amazing.
be sick.
Yeah, God, that sounds amazing.
That would be so much fun. Like, and I bet you it wouldn't even like I don't know what I have some friends in like Ohio and stuff, and they've came here. I'm like, I don't think it's too like flights aren't that bad.
No,
like
it's
they're
not.
pretty.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty. Well, you did it as like when you came out here. Like, but if you time it right or whatever, it's like pretty easy.
Yeah, honestly,
and like our neighborhood, like there's cheap Airbnbs and stuff. So it's like
and we would even
easily.
I mean, one of the things we could even do is tell people we're going out there for like, if you, because you got the keys to the shop. If we did some, we could even do, I don't know, live recording there and stuff, and have people out and make it
wild.
Really plan it out,
That
and we
would
could
be
actually come out there and record in the thing, and that would be, if we could rent a little time in your space, and we had people showing up or whatever, or after hours, just us doing it, whatever. You
don't have to rent anything.
Man, it would just
like
be
you guys come out here. If you're making the trip and the dedication, you're coming out here. Like you don't have to rent anything. Like we can set up shop right by that fire over there and be recording, and we can put chairs out over there. And any uppers who want to come out to Portland and hang out are more than welcome to sit in.
Dude,
and
be sick. I would
if it's on ideal day would be like a Monday, right? Or like a Tuesday or something. So that way we're not open in the business hours.
Right. Is rolling right out. Yep. Man,
but like I said, I got the keys. I can open up the till, and if people wanted to buy bottles or do whatever, I'll do whatever.
Dude, you got us dreaming. I mean,
as we are due for a bro trip. We haven't done a trip for a few years.
We haven't, but last one was Texas or something. And so I'm telling you, like once we get off here with you, Travis, I'm probably gonna be like, so what are you realistic? Like what day you actually? Because Travis will do it. I mean, Travis will be like, no, guys, like
I'll make
that's happening. So
I make so many things. I go going.
You're a go getter. That's what I mean. You're a go getter. You get stuff done.
Yeah, you make stuff happen. You make stuff happen.
Awesome.
It's inspiring. Yeah.
I want a bunch of drinks and mead when I'm out there. That's for sure. I'm going to be the most meated up I've ever been on a podcast.
I'm gonna like
the meat.
I'm gonna bathe myself in second breakfast. Is what I'm gonna do. We'll talk. We'll find it. We'll I don't know. We'll work on a plan to get out there for sure. Because I would love it, and I know that Sarah would love for me and Ez to get out there and
do it.
Yeah, and we'll record 14th. We'll do the 14th, you guys.
Yeah, 14th. Let's we'll work on a time, but
on my calendar.
Yeah, if you could do if you could do 5 or 6, that'd be cool because then we'd have plenty of time to do several 2-3 hours.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
It just so happened to land
on D&D.
This one landed on D&D day.
And D&D is not short, man. I mean, D&D is like you got this campaign dedication to that.
No. Yeah,
so. It's wild. It's crazy. Yeah, we got this together. We got this together pretty quickly too. I felt like this was good.
Yeah, I'm really glad we did, even though it was a little bit kind of like last week. Lane was like, "Yeah, let's make this." I'm like, "Dude, let's freaking do it!" Because mid-season for Rings of Power, and then we're dropping this episode to feature you kind of in the midst of our most popular episodes. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be really good. Yeah, which will be fun. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
for me, it's just like, we just got to pick a date and be like, all right, this is it. We're doing it. Let's do it.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm down. So 14th is great.
Cool.
And then we'll plan out just the deets, bring them poems and moments and stuff. I got a few moments I've been saving, so I'll bring them. I'll bring them for you guys.
Yeah, baby.
We'll dish.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So.
All right, Travis, you're an absolute gem, man.
Yeah,
Thank
you are
for everything, brother.
Great man.
Yeah, you too, guys. I'm excited to our next chat.
Yep.
Absolutely, dude. I can't wait. Love you, my man.
Yep.
All right, love you guys.
All right, see you, Travis.
Right, brother. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Yep.
All right, you too.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm gonna end the stream over here. Everyone on the stream, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody.
And we will. I kind of forgot this was on. Actually, we were over here doing a business meeting. I forgot this even.
Are people still there?
There's still 6 people. Yeah, I wonder who's all actually still there, like Stanley and Liam and
asleep like Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I'm still here because I can't figure out why.
Oh, Travis is still on there. Jeez, cow. That's hilarious.
Guys.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you're fine, dude.
It froze on my PC is frozen right now.
That's awesome.
And it's the mouse isn't even moving. So I don't even know.
You're just stuck here with us. You're just stuck here with us.
We're stuck on the
call,
dude.
Everyone on the stream, see you guys. Have a great night, and we are ending it now. Here we go.